Where are the low-value men?
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site. You can believe that. You can believe that. You can believe that.
Contracted COVID, but says with a mixture of medicines, including the controversial horse dewormer that has poisoned hundreds of people nationwide, he's now recovered.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
From the headlines to the whisper star, low value mail, low value mail at 9 o'clock, where truth and fiction take a walk.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Our stories are.
Oh boy. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand spanking new episode of Low Value Mail on this Monday, February 3rd, 2025, the year of our Lord. Joining me on this episode number 136, we've got, in the second hour, the one and only Nick Rochefort, everybody. If you don't know who Nick Rochefort is, we got a lot of people watching on Rumble right now. If you don't know who he is, because you're, dare I say, dumb? Are you dumb, bud? Nick Rochefort, he's a comedian. He's best known for $1 Million Extreme. He hosts Scuffed Realtor every Tuesday at 7 p.m. with Alex Schultz. And he's going to be joining me to answer your questions. Are your questions going to be good? Some of them might be. Some of them are going to be. I'm sure some of them are going to be rough, but we're going to have a good time. I put up one of those super chat goal things over on YouTube. I know a lot of you are watching over on Rumble. But as we've been doing for the past few weeks, if we hit the goal, I'll do an extra 30 minutes open lines. Also read all your super chats. Plus one super chatter will win a 6-month Patreon membership, courtesy of Jan from Patreon, who donated a 6-month membership for me to give away. Shout out, Jan. Also, I'm trying, some people do the carrot, some people do the stick. I'm giving you a delicious carrot here, because once we hit 500 patrons, I believe we're like 180 something or so away. Once I hit number 500, I'm going to give away $500 US, which is like 1,000 Canadian soon. I know some of you are in Canada. So support the show. Patreon.com/lowvaluemail. MAIL. We got a super chat from Sean from Pittsburgh, $4.20. Didn't say anything. We got another one from Vincent that says, Governor Phil Murphy has an undocumented slave. Don't we all, though? I mean, I don't know if I can give him shit for that. Be kind of glass houses kind of deal. Anyways, let us get to it. It's going to be an exciting episode. It's exciting stuff going on in the world. We got a trade war. Now, some people think it's over. Some people are like, this whole thing, look at that, just lasted a day or something, and that's just it, right? I, on the other hand, do not believe. I believe this is the beginning, not the end. I believe that is the stupid person's take right now to be like, oh, look at that, this is just over. By the way, we're 2 weeks. We're not even 2 weeks into Trump being president. God damn, does it feel like it's been a long time. Feels like a real long time, huh? Real ages. Absolute ages. If you're in Mexico, I don't think we have any listeners in Mexico. I got to check maybe they're vacationing there in Puerto Vallarta or Cancun. Or ayahuasca. Is that a place? No, it's a drug. But we got a lot of Canadians, and you're probably feeling pretty good right now. No tariffs. Well, I don't think that's going to last, personally. So, for those of you who don't know, and again, I don't know what was going on in Mexico about this. Canadians were pissed. Holy shit. I've been doing this so you guys don't have to. Not that you would, but I have been watching so much Canadian news. My whole life, I was like, Canadian news is so boring. Nothing ever happens in Canada. Nothing. It's like, the rink, the Zamboni broke down at the Barrie, Ontario rink. You go, that's big news. Right? But I've been watching a lot of Canadian news. They're mad. They are real betrayal vibes going on in Canada. They're like, we on 9/11, when your precious towers got hit by the Jews, we were the ones who let you land in Newfoundland or whatever the fuck, Prince Edward Island. I don't even know which one it is. It's one of those two. They go, we did all this stuff for you, America. This is how you pay us back. I will say, because there's a lot of reordering going on in Canada. Canada's kind of woken up. They've come online a little bit, if you want to use that terminology. People are like, maybe having one trade partner that represents 80% of our entire exports, not the best idea. And I'll say it again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Being polite cannot be your national identity. That is, if your national identity is we're polite, and at one point I believed this in myself. We go, yeah, we're polite. You go, you're going to be a footnote in a history book if that is your national identity. You just go, we're polite. Okay. Well, then you're going to get fucking steamrolled. Okay. But so for those of you who have not been following, Donald Trump, 47th president of the United States, he announced 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico. They're supposed to start in 3 hours from now. But both Canada and Mexico, they got an extra 30 days for beefing up security at their borders and some other concessions. They both basically said, I think Mexico was like, we're going to send 10,000 troops to the border permanently. In 2019, they sent 15,000. That was temporary, obviously. Didn't work out that well, did it? These are 10,000 permanent troops. Canada doesn't have 10,000 troops to send. They're all busy putting tampons in washrooms, in men's washrooms. So they just said, we're going to send 10,000 personnel, whatever that means. I don't even know what that means. They go, we're going to send 10,000 personnel, which is personnel is the female version of persons, right? Personnel. It might be just a bunch of chicks. I don't know. I think it's a French word, right? But so Trump, and I talked about this last week, Trump, his whole thing is we got to get this fentanyl situation under control. Fentanyl has been killing Americans, and we got to get it under control. And, you know, Canada's not helping. Mexico's not helping. And it's a national security issue, right? And again, I spoke about that. If you caught last week's episode, if you haven't caught last week's episode, I'm not going to rehash it too much. I've been going pretty hard about this because I've been feeling crazy, to be honest. I've been feeling like, you know, like one of those movies where there's like some scientist and he's like he's at his workstation, and then he kind of like, he's just like working in the corner. Nobody really pays attention. He's a mild-mannered scientist. He's not a spicy-mannered. I don't know what the opposite of mild is. I only think in terms of chicken wings. But, you know, he's working away, and then comes across something, goes, holy shit, they're about to drop a fucking nuke on us, right? And then he's trying to get the information to people, and they like, nobody's listening to him. They just go, and he goes, I have this information. They go, they don't care. This is what I feel like. This is what I've been feeling like. Because in my opinion, and I could be totally wrong on this. Look, we could be talking about this in March, and I'll be like, you know what? I totally missed it. I was completely wrong. But I don't think so. I mean, you got to think in probabilities here. I think a 20% chance I'm wrong. Maybe Trump really only just cares about fentanyl, even though he keeps talking about how he wants to make Canada the 51st state, brings it up every chance he gets, talks about tariffs every chance he gets. But so last week I talked about a paper that was written by one of Donald Trump's, maybe his top economic advisor, a guy named Stephen Miran. It's called The User's Guide to Restructuring the Global Trading System. Right? It outlines how the United States can bring back manufacturing, lower their national debt, weaken the U.S. dollar, which for a reserve currency is essentially impossible because if you're a reserve currency, you essentially have to always run a deficit because people need your dollars. There's a huge demand for your dollars because you're the reserve currency. And then essentially lower income taxes via tariffs, right? And so an interesting thing, and this is why I think this is bullshit, right? So in order to use, and I've been reading so much about this. I don't want to say I'm a tariff expert at this point because I still sometimes spell it with 2 R's instead of 2 F's. So I hardly say I'm a tariff expert, but I'm reading a lot about it, right? So you don't have to. I'll say that. You don't have to. But so in order to use blanket tariffs, which is what these are, normally if you want to use a tariff as an American president, you got to first off go through Congress. Could take, 6, 12 months to get something like this passed. And they have to be specific. You got to be like, we're tariffing this specific item, like steel or whatever. You can't just be like, we're putting a blanket tariff on a country. The only way you can do that is by using what America has. It's called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. It was passed in the 70s, 1977. Essentially allows the president to put blanket tariffs on any country without going through Congress. You can just do it immediately. You can just say, we're doing it tomorrow, which is essentially what Trump's been doing. You can just do that instantly. But you need a national security threat specifically. There has to be some sort of national security threat. You can't just say, hey, this would really help the economy. We need blanket tariffs. Doesn't count. You need the pretext that there is a national security threat, right? And, what's a better national security threat than a fentanyl crisis and the border? Now, conspiracies have potentially fried my brain. And, maybe Trump is just wants Canada and Mexico to fix the border. Maybe that's what he wants. He just wants Trump and Canada to fix the border and just stop fentanyl. 30 days doesn't seem like a lot of time to do that. I'm no expert on the war on drugs, but it's been going on since 1971, I believe. And that's 54 years? And they haven't managed to really fix that. But now Canada and Mexico have 30 days to fix the war on drugs. And by the way, you know what? I might be off on this. I don't know. None of this makes sense to me. I'm feeling crazy here because America's like, hey, we want less fentanyl coming into the country. First off, all the precursors for fentanyl come from China. Like 100% of them, they come from China. I don't even think they're illegal too. There's like a weird thing where the precursors are actually like technically not even illegal. They're like regulated highly, but I don't believe they're illegal. I could be wrong on that. But isn't like U.S. Customs job to stop drugs coming into the country? Like, isn't that how that works? Like, if you want, for example, less drugs coming into your country, I understand, like, obviously with people and like, Mexico, for example, with the border, they're allowing everybody from Central America, South America to go through Mexico. So obviously they can help. And when it's physical people, you can be like, look, you could do something about this. With drugs, though, with the amount of trade going back and forth, it's unfortunately on the country that wants to stop the drugs from coming in from policing it, right? So they could say, hey, Canada, Mexico, we want some money so we could hire more border guards because all these drugs are pouring in. But again, it's still the border guards, the customs, that have to, at the end of the day, stop them from coming in, right? And here's the thing. Opioid users, I'm sure a few of you who watch the show, opioid users, not exactly price sensitive. I can't imagine these are the most price sensitive people, right? Like opioids could triple in price. Say they just triple in price. I can't imagine anybody who's an opioid user, who's addicted to opioids, and then the price of opioids triples. They're just like, all right, I guess I'll try something else. I'll just move on. Opioids have become too expensive. As far as I understand, opioid users will get opioid at absolutely any cost, right? And the issue, unfortunately, and I probably sound like some crazy leftist here, but the issue is demand, right? Like the problem why there's an opioid crisis is because people want opioids. Obviously, there's the whole thing where it gets mixed into coke and MDMA and all that stuff. That obviously is a problem. I can't imagine that's a huge percentage of the people who are getting killed. Obviously, it's some of them, but I would guess it's single digits if I had to guess. And the only way to really curtail demand for opioids is if you want to have like Singapore-style drug laws where we're executing people for even possessing this stuff, which I don't think we have the appetite for in America. I don't really think people want to do that. Because, again, there's been a war on drugs for 54 years. They've done everything to stop these drugs from coming in. It's just a cat and mouse game. They do something, and then the smugglers do something else. But smugglers will always find a way to supply the market, especially when it's as profitable as it is, right? Like they'll always find a way. They've always done. They will always do it. But people want fentanyl. I mean, it's crazy to say, but because we think you're like, oh, fentanyl is just this poison that kills people, and yeah, if you don't use fentanyl, it will kill you. But if you can't get heroin, you can just go on fentanyl. I mean, people just take fentanyl. Like if you have a tolerance for fentanyl, you can just take it recreationally. It's good shit from what I heard. Of course, if you are addicted to opioids, right? But so, I could be wrong. But this whole paper that I referenced, the, what's it called here? User's Guide to Restructuring the Global Trading System. The whole thing is about putting on tariffs, right? They need the pretext for it, which is, they say, national security. The tariffs are coming. I mean, Trump already said he's like, EU's next. Like, what could the EU do? What do you want? Fucking more military in Portugal or some shit? Like, what are they going to do? They're coming. The tariffs are coming. And honestly, kind of a win for Trump again, because everybody just thinks, oh, it's just over. And a lot of people in Canada are like, stupid Trump. Look at that. We were already going to do these things anyways, even though Trump forced them to do them. But they're like, we were going to just do these things anyways. But here's the thing. Mexico sends 10,000 permanent military to the border, right? Now, if in 30 days from now, Trump's like, you know what? I'm still doing tariffs. That didn't do anything. Again, how do you even quantify this? Like 20 pounds of fentanyl was seized coming into the United States from Canada last year. Like, does it have to be zero? Like, if they go, we didn't seize anything? And also, over what time frame? Like, wouldn't you have to wait like a year to see if this is successful? And then also, if it was zero and you go, yeah, but the deaths are the same, so I guess we're just not catching it. So that didn't work. But Trump's just going to say in 30 days from now, he's going to like, look, appreciate you doing that. That was awful nice of you to put 10,000 permanent military at the border, Mexico, and personnel or whatever the fuck, Canada at the border, but still doing tariffs. And, Mexico can't just turn around and be like, hey, well, then we're removing these 10,000 military, because you're like, okay, well, then the tariffs are doubling. So if anything, Trump's just getting even more than what he wanted. But the tariffs are coming. They're like, if you believe that paper, and maybe the papers, I don't know, maybe this is like 8D chess and Trump just kind of put that paper out there. And then people, but again, nobody's really talking about this paper. That's the crazy part. Is like, I've seen like 5 people talk about it. I feel like I'm like one of the, I mean, I'm definitely the only like podcaster talking about it. I haven't seen anybody talk about it. Everybody's just like, yeah, Trump's really concerned about fentanyl. And hey, we beefed up the border. So just, that's water under the bridge, everybody. Nothing to worry about. And, Canada is, you know, I've watched a lot of conversation in Canada. This is another element to it, which is that Canada has realized, they're like, yeah, we can't be dependent on the United States for all of our exports. And Canada, because of all their environmentalist bullshit and crazy protectionism within provinces, they can't really trade within, it's easier to trade with America than it is to trade with other provinces, which is insane. And you can't ship oil across the country because Quebec like won't allow a pipeline to go through Quebec and all this environmental like native stuff. And they go, we can't do it. Right. But so Canada now, this was very much a fork in the road for the country of Canada. And I know most of you are like, who gives a shit about Canada? Right. But this is just the start of it, in my opinion, with the tariffs on all countries that have any sort of trade surplus with the United States. Right. This is just the beginning. But now everybody in Canada is like, oh, okay, we need to just like completely reformat our entire economy because we can't risk a president ever doing this again. So you're like, so you're telling me that they're going to now change their entire thing, not depend on America, and then Trump's going to be like, yeah, I'm just not putting tariffs. No, the tariffs are for sure coming. It's crazy to think. And I mean, and everybody in Canada is like, yeah, you got to buy Canadian, and then all the liquor stores were pulling off American booze off the shelves. Let me tell you, there was this thing going around about like, hey, if you're buying certain products, buy these instead. These are Canadian. And for soda, it was like, don't buy Coca-Cola. Buy President's Choice. I don't know if you know what President's Choice is. It's dog shit. Or like Walmart brand Great Value soda. Or Canada Dry. You're like, yeah, you know what? I really like Pepsi, but I guess I'm going to drink ginger ale for the rest of my fucking life. No way. There's no chance this is happening. And again, there's no way that it's just like, hey, we just beefed up the border, so this is just over. And this is probably the most telling thing out of all of it. Trump posted a tweet today after he had a little conversation with Justin Trudeau, basically saying, this is all the things Canada was doing. We're securing the border, fentanyl, yada, yada, yada. The end of it says, and this was on Truth Social, which I'll never forgive Trump for making me go on Truth Social, the amount that I'm forced to do that now. But he says at the end of it, he goes, as president, it is my responsibility to ensure the safety of all Americans, and I'm doing just that. I am very pleased with this initial outcome, and the tariffs announced on Saturday will be paused for a 30-day period to see whether or not a final economic deal with Canada can be structured. Fairness for all. You got played, Canada. Like, I hate to break it to you, but you got totally played. You're spending all this extra money for nothing. It's going to achieve nothing. And again, maybe I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll take the L. Take a big ol' L, right? But there's a lot of tells in all of this that's going on. I mean, that obviously was a big one. Also, a very interesting one is that Trump, in his first term, cared so much about the stock market. The stock market was essentially his barometer for the success of his presidency. He would never do anything that was bad for the stock market. Now, and he said it specifically, he's just like, look, that's not kind of the main thing right now. We're not playing a short-term game. We're playing a long-term game. Yes, there might be some pain. Yes, your avocados might cost a little more money. Sorry about that. You're going to have to learn to pay an extra $1 for an avocado, or don't eat avocados. But Trump's playing the legacy game right now. Everybody in Canada, and I said this the 2 days after he started cracking these jokes about about absorbing Canada, making it a 51st state, which I don't think he's going to make it a 51st state. I think he's going to be like, oh, 51st state. And then he'll be like, well, you might settle for being a territory. Right? Art of the deal, baby. It's the art of the deal. You think, hey, we'll never be a 51st state. And he goes, okay, what about just a U.S. territory? But yeah, the boycott thing, it's like people in Canada, you know, it's kind of like the Ukraine thing where everybody was so like gung-ho. By the way, I see a lot of you on Twitter responding to me. None of you have Canada or Mexico flags in your bios. It makes me sick. We need to rally around this. So if you have a Ukraine flag in your bio, pop a Canadian flag beside there, pop a Mexican flag beside there. Because we're all in this together. Right? But Trump is playing the legacy game right now. I said this months ago. He is now trying to get on Mount Everest. That's what he's doing. You should have never tried to kill him twice. You should have never tried to throw him in jail. And when I say you, I mean they. And when I say they, that can mean a lot of theys, not the they thems. They're done. We're not doing that anymore, right? But he's playing the legacy game completely right now. And we'll see. We'll see in a month from now. But my guess is that he's going to tariff everybody. And every economist is like, well, not every economist. Many economists are like, yeah, this is, I mean, he put on tariffs in 2018, 2019 with China. He was able to lower the income tax rate as a result. It wasn't inflationary. That's what everybody says. It's inflationary. You go, it's not necessarily. It is crazy, though, that what he's attempting to do is essentially the greatest economic experiment the world has ever seen. Like, you read this paper, and it all just cites as, like, these theoretical papers. I didn't read any of the citations, but it just cites these theoretical papers. It's purely theoretical, and he's just doing it. Now, I guess he has 30 days to kind of prime people for that it's coming. And Canada has the most inept people right now. I mean, they don't even have a parliament. They're all got sent home for 2 months. It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. It's literally insane. I find it very hard to believe. All right, I'm gonna open the phone lines right now. I'm sure a lot of you have things you want to talk about. 1-888-949-2969. Excuse me. I don't know if you guys saw the because the heat spin off of this tariff stuff kind of doesn't really have people talking about the deportations that are going on. Was that part of the strategy? I don't know. But there were ICE protests all over the United States yesterday. I don't know if you saw this. I was looking on TikTok, and every live stream on TikTok was an ICE protest, which was maybe one of the more bizarre things I've seen. Because first off, it was all people. It wasn't the ICE protest you thought it was. It was all people with Mexican flags. Which you're not helping. Like, what do you think? Do you think people are seeing this? You're shutting down freeways, waving Mexican flags, and people are like, yeah, we shouldn't deport people. At that point, they're like, yo, we need to deport these people too. Even if they're Americans, why are you all waving Mexican flags? And like, which is it? Is America good or is Mexico the better country? Because there were no American flags. I mean, if you're American, if your heritage is Mexico, look, this is the rule for flags from your country if you no longer live in the country. Sports. That's it. You get to bust it out for sports. That is the only scenario where you can trod that out. Hold on a second. I fucked something up here. Oh, no. Oh, here we go. Sports is the only thing, okay? You can bust out your flags when sports are happening. You don't get to have anti-ICE rallies waving Mexican flags. It's insane. And, you know, you see Tom Homan on the news talking about deporting families. You think he's like, oh, they're protesting on the freeways. Probably shouldn't deport anybody. Like, it's not going to do anything. You saw how the Palestine shit happened. It's the same as like the Just Stop Oil or the pro-Palestine thing. People see that shit. You're like blocking them from getting to work. And they're just like, we hate these people. We might have been sympathetic to your cause. And now we hate you. Like, it's actually doing the opposite of what they're intending, because you don't need to do anything to protest ICE. Every left-wing mainstream media outlet, all they're doing on their social media and, on the news and shit, is they're just posting interviews of people who are like got deported and their family broke up. That's kind of doing the heavy lifting here. When you do all this other shit, shutting down highways and everything, they need like protest consultants. They need to hire me. So, I wouldn't tell them anything other than just like, don't do this. This is not, the optics of this are terrible. Do not do this. All right, we're going to take some calls. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're an audio listener, make sure to follow the podcast. Leave a review. If you're watching on my main comedy channel, please, I put a link I didn't put a link, but just come on over to the Low Value Mail channel. The chat is enabled here. The chat is disabled on my main comedy channel. I just have a live stream going on there just so you guys can check it out and get some more viewers / listeners. And if you want to support the show, which I highly recommend, you get access to bonus audio only episode once a week. Plus, you're going to win some money. I'm literally a Jewish man giving you money. What more do you need? Someone's going to win $500. You can do so. Patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL. We have also leave a comment on the YouTube on Low Value Mail saying why you want to win a Patreon membership. I'm going to give one of you who has the most liked comment a 6-month membership, which you can win money from that. So it's not like nothing. You can actually potentially win $500. Last week's winner of the 6-month membership was Fourth World Wilderness 390 on YouTube. DM me on Twitter or Instagram, or, I'm easy to get a hold of. Do that to claim your prize. And then finally, new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night, 9 p.m., live from the Stand Comedy Club. Probably the studio again. They just had another great flood. All right. Let's take some calls. One moment, please. Let's get to the callers. I've been rambling too much. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
You are speaking with Stephen Terror.
Stephen Terror. What's up, dude?
I'm doing good. Well, pretty good. Better than earlier today. I thought I was going to be kicked out of my apartment, but
you got kicked out of your apartment, or you thought you were getting kicked out of your apartment?
I thought I was going to be, because Section 8 stuff, and I haven't really kept up with it, and it's been interesting. But
when you say you haven't kept up with it, you just weren't paying your rent?
No. I'm in Section 8 right now, where my rent's getting paid.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I'm recovering addict.
Okay. Congrats. How's that going?
And it's good. Good. Is just I don't know.
So what do you want to talk about?
I'm kind of nervous.
Oh, it's all good. Nothing to be nervous about. We're just chatting on the phone.
Yeah.
Just pretend like I'm a debt collector.
What have you been up to?
What have I been up to?
Well,
I was just got back from Florida actually this afternoon. I was in right near Mar-a-Lago actually.
Oh, sounds nice.
Went for the weekend just to get a little vitamin D. No, I'm back. I hope you can tell. I got a little tan. Yeah. Probably can't tell. But, yeah. So what are you recovering from, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I used to do a lot of meth.
Meth?
And I've been off of that for meth.
Yeah, meth. Yeah, that's what I heard that. Is that hard? How hard is that on a scale of 1 to 10 to come off of?
Well, with the way that I came off of it, I had absolutely no choice, because I was living with my brother and I couldn't do it around him. And so it's a big
gauge, right?
I have heard that. Initially, like a long time ago, whenever I did first do a lot of meth, was at this gay dude's house. He was like, "Yeah, come over," and he just wanted people to come over to have friends around.
Yeah.
But then you find out later on that he'd tell other people that came around that he did some stuff with you whenever he didn't, because he was fucked up on meth.
Right.
And
right,
made up stuff.
Huh.
He also had type 2 and 1 diabetes.
What was that?
He said he had type 1 and type 2 diabetes.
I didn't know you could have both. I don't know you could have both.
You can't. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's a bit of a liar.
Yeah. He was it's like one of those, you can't really ever trust
can't trust a meth addict. Yeah. That makes some sense.
Because they can be the sweetest person with you one time and then steal everything you got.
Interesting. Illuminating. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go because I got a bunch of other callers here, but appreciate you calling in, man.
All right. Thank you much, Danny. You have a good one.
Take care. All right. That was Steven. We're going to take a call from Canada right now. Yes, we will. Call from Aiden in Ontario. What's up, man? You're on Low Value.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Very well. How are you?
Pretty good.
How much do you hate America right now, Aiden?
More than ever, which
that's what I've been hearing.
Wasn't that much to begin with. But,
I know.
I think I'm the least mad guy about it. Well, I'm other than the straight up, American simps who are happy about it. I think nobody who's realistically well informed thinks it's a good thing, but for us, I understand the American perspective, so that's why I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, like it's definitely not good for Canada. I mean, it arguably depends who you ask. Could be good for America. Definitely not good for Canada.
Well, my optimistic take is that maybe the conservatives come into power here. Maybe what Trump is trying to do for America can happen here, and we can, boost some of our own productive sectors, manufacturing, and that sort of stuff. But
I mean, the problem is the last 10. The last 10 years. The problem is Trump is you don't want to be the person reacting. You want to be acting, and Canada's just and Mexico are having to react to him. So you're kind of a little flat-footed here. You're had you planned for this and not relied on one country for all your exports, then you could have easily just told them to go fuck themselves. But now you're in this position where you're you're what are we supposed to do? You're even if you want to become self-sustaining or have other trade partners, you're okay, well, it takes 5 years to build a pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of our fault that we're in this position in the first place. Can't really blame them for such a concentration. It's convenient, they're right there, so makes trade easy. I think it's beneficial for both of us. I'm in the libertarian camp, so I'm prone to free trade and free markets. But the other side of free markets is it's a negotiation process. You can't sell something to somebody if they don't want to buy it.
Yep. Now, were you gonna do the whole boycotting American goods and buying Canadian stuff? Should had this gone through?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of
shit, man.
I don't think. How old are you?
I'm 28.
Yeah. See, I think boomers and stuff who know a Canada that was much different, and they were probably this country, but that country is the one that they knew is a lot different. Long gone. Yeah. I always.
And they haven't realized that yet, so they're still trying to fight for something that doesn't even exist anymore, buddy. So
yeah, you probably know this. I don't know if a lot of Americans realize this, but when you're in school in Canada, they very much pound it into your head. They go, America is this melting pot, And Canada is this mosaic where, you know, in America you can come there, but you have to be American. And then Canada, if whatever you are, you can just still be that. And I'm like, yeah, there's no way that over a long enough timeline that's sustainable. Like America nailed the whole like national identity thing. You're like, if you just bring all these people in and say like, continue being the thing you were, you're like, yeah, that worked for 20 years maybe. And then now you're like, yeah, play this out for 50 years. You're like, you don't have a nation left.
Oh man, you can see it happening in real time in the World Juniors.
I mean,
that's basically what Vivek was talking about. There's the results of all your mediocrity culture right there.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, that's like, you know, I moved to the United States specifically.
And we have it worse than you guys do for sure.
Yeah. Like you're saying in America or just my age group?
Sorry, I forgot you're Canadian for a sec there.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, my dad's from Burlington. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, my hometown.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, Canada is, especially with like the arts is, I mean, it got so frustrating just the way that they would reward the most fucking mediocre people. It was crazy. We're just like, okay, I mean, it's very short-sighted. I don't see how you can just keep doing this forever. And they would continue.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, like one of our main identity things was that we had hockey, and you're like, we don't even have that anymore.
Yeah. So it's funny. That's like the last thing that you can really get nationalistic about, like, and feel good about it. But even like, that, it's like, well, okay, what do we got?
I mean, if we're second to the United States, I mean, we're not even second. You're like, we're worse than sometimes Finland and Sweden, these tiny ass countries.
Yeah.
You're like, what? I don't know. I've been a doomer about a lot of shit recently, but that's one of those things where the more I thought about this mosaic thing where you're like, they teach you, you're like, yeah, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, cool. And then now I'm like, oh, that's a recipe for national suicide. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't just bring everybody in and say you could just be whatever you want.
No, I'm guessing you never have any plans on coming back here, eh? Permanently?
Permanently? No, not at the moment. I mean, there's literally no, like, comedy industry at all there.
If you made a shit ton of money, where would you retire?
Florida. I love Florida. I fucking love.
Yeah, man. No BC. You're not a skier.
No, I'm not a skier. I like Kelowna. If I had to wind up back in Canada, probably somewhere on the West Coast, like Kelowna. I like Kelowna a lot.
Yeah.
Good temperatures and stuff. I'm not a big snow guy.
Fair enough.
So I just don't. I just
I
don't.
was thinking about booking this. I was thinking about booking a ski trip to upstate New York or Vermont or New Hampshire or something, but it's like with the exchange rate now, maybe I'll wait till next year.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, if Trump gets his way with these tariffs, the exchange rate is actually probably going to be pretty beneficial. I mean, the economy will be in the dumps, but your
economy-wise, not for travel.
Well, no, I'm saying the economy will be bad, but your dollar will be good. So, if that happens, anyways, I gotta let you go, man. But I appreciate you calling in.
All right, man.
Take care.
Nice talking to you. Have a good one.
Aiden from Ontario, everybody. Let's take another call here. Oh, we got a call from. We got a lot of Canadians calling today. I like it. This call's from Alberta, and he hung up. Oh no. Let's try this one right here. One moment, please, everybody. Thank you for all the super chats. I'm gonna read them while I wait. Please unmute yourself, caller from Fort, potentially Alberta. Dylan says, Danny, what do you 400 for? I don't know what that means. Dan Buckley says, none of the true believers are asking themselves, who cares? This is the real shit. Fascinating about this paper. It's very telling, and I otherwise wouldn't have heard about it. More of this, please. I mean, I kind of came across it randomly. I don't have the bandwidth to just be searching the internet for this random shit. Blankers says, the RCMP CSIS project Sidewinder in the 90s learned about Chinese drug smuggling. The Fed of all parties and most provincial parties are infiltrated and compromised by China. America knows it's bad. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Is this me?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, sorry. Sean.
Sean, what's up, man?
The caller ID says Ontario, but I am located in Alberta because I'm like a refugee.
Yeah, we're in Alberta.
Oh, God, the far north, Fort McMurray. I did see Ryan last weekend,
Woo!
actually, in Edmonton when I was there.
Man, that's Fort McMurray.
Yeah.
That's
and I saw you in Burlington a while ago. I just
hell
wanted
yeah.
to say I'm happy that your numbers are going up. And
thanks, man.
Especially on this. I know that you're trying to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, pretty crazy times. I think we were just preparing for all these tariffs, and then suddenly they're like gone for a month, and the whole reasons for why they're being implemented don't make any sense. But whatever, that's not like one of the biggest things. I used to live overseas, and I met a lot of Americans that work for NGOs. I have some friends that work for USA Aid, and like basically they can't get any money moving. Their whole money like system has been frozen, not by the government, but like Elon's like 20-year-old interns.
I know.
Which is like fucking illegal, completely treasonous that he's running the entire U.S. government on his own private server now, and nobody seems to care.
I mean, I saw the whole thing with USAID. I followed it. Like, I watched Mike Benz when he was on Rogan, and he talks about all the USAID stuff and how it's like, essentially they just issue blank checks. Again, like, I know they're shutting it off, but from the sounds of it, it's not permanent. Like, I think they're just trying to get an understanding of where all this money's going.
No. They just got an email saying, the mass terminations are coming. They're definitely coming for this organization, which, if we're being honest, is really a drop in the bucket compared to money being spent. And the second U.S. stops spending money in these places, other countries are just going to come in and spend that money, and you've lost all your soft diplomacy. And it's just stupid. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
None of these policies make any sense.
What are the NGOs?
Even the whole win.
What are the NGOs that your friends work for? Like, what do they do?
They encourage like good governance, and they invest in small businesses, basically. Mostly.
In what countries?
He's in Southeast Asia right now.
Southeast Asia. Yeah, I mean, I think the tone and with all this America First stuff right now is, I think very much of it is like, yeah, why is this our responsibility? Like, I think
General Mattis like put it very well a few years ago when he basically said, like, the more money you spend on aid, the less I have to spend on bullets, and bullets are more expensive.
Sure.
So it's like none of these policies really make any sense. And I was just reading on the news today, they were saying, the MAGA people were saying, oh, Canada cucked, Canada bent the knee. And it's just like, that's not, we literally offered him what we were offering him last month.
Yeah.
And if anything, we got some Black Hawk helicopters. So it's just like, no, you lost on this trip. This doesn't make any sense.
Not so fast.
This shit doesn't make any sense.
I mean, again, not so fast on the you lost thing, because you're assuming that this is over, and it's not. Also,
no. But in terms of bent the knee, it's like that. Okay, maybe that'll happen. Maybe that hasn't happened yet.
No, but also the stuff that they're doing, they proposed because Trump started threatening them when he was still not the president, but when he had won the election. Like, they didn't just come at that on their own. Like, he started saying there was all these issues, and then they kind of saw the writing on the wall, and they offered all this stuff up. So, I mean, they are doing the stuff that Trump is essentially forcing them to do. They're just not doing more.
And driving up Trudeau's popularity.
That's the crazy part.
Not the worst. Worst thing for us. We hate him, and we're like rallying around this guy that we all hate.
I know. And I saw a guy, journalist from, I don't know where he's from, I think from like The Sun or something, but he had essentially laid out how the new prime minister, which will be likely Mark Carney, he could be in power until the end of 2026. It's, people assume that there's an election this year, but because, like, especially if tariffs come in, like, they'll basically, under like, some emergency provisions, they can actually, but like the Canadian whatever charter says, like, elections technically have to be every 5 years. They do them for the most part every 4 years, but they have to be every 5 years. So the Liberals can actually be in power for like 2 more years.
Trump has thrown the Liberal Party a lifeline when it was like a few weeks ago, we were saying the Liberal Party won't exist anymore. Yeah, and now Trump is their savior. So again, America first. Good going. Good job, buddy.
I don't think Trump can. Yeah, no problem. I'll let you go. I don't think Trump gives a shit about Canada, to be honest. I really don't. I don't think he gives 2 shits about Canada. All right, we'll take one more call, and then we're going to go to break, and we'll be back with Nick Rochefort. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Danny. My
Hi.
name is Regina Connell.
Hey, Regina. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing?
I'm very well.
That's awesome. It's great to thank you for accepting my call. The the conversation that you're having, is it okay if I ask a question more on the local level? Like, we're in West Virginia, and there's some really weird stuff going on around here, man.
Like what?
So there was a mining accident here in Boone County. And so when I called our local sheriff's office, because I had been trying to get a meeting with him, he's a good old boy, Boone County sheriff. Anyway, so when the person answered the phone, they were like, hey, I said I wanted, because the governor released a statement on X the day of the mining accident and said, y'all pray for the family. Well, when I called our local sheriff, he didn't ask me, but they asked me, did I know if any local or state police showed up on the scene? That as far as they knew, only an ambulance and only the mining supervisor showed up. So through all of this, I've tried to contact the governor's office. I actually made a recording today of all the runaround they've given me, but there is a group called the West Virginia Prosperity Group that they say staffed the whole governor's office or something. And then when I spoke with Drew, deputy press secretary, which it took me forever to get them to tell me who the actual press secretary is, but he's the director of this West Virginia Prosperity Group. But then Drew said that they're getting away from the Prosperity Group. It's just crazy. Nobody knows anything. They give you the cold shoulder. But then the sheriff, I asked the sheriff, did our governor even call you? And he said no. And I'm like, what?
And how bad was this accident?
There was a man killed.
And were there were there many
Go ahead.
more injured?
We don't know any details. Like, he issued the press release, and now they're saying that there's going to be an internal investigation. Yet I would think that if something happens on the local level, my whole point was the local Boone County people are going to look to local Boone County leaders for answers. And did the governor even call the family before releasing that? It couldn't have been hours. And then I looked up the journalist who released the story, and I reached out to her, but I have no idea who she is. I mean, this is all crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time hearing of. I haven't heard of any of this. But I mean, there's a lot going on in the news. You need a really crazy local story for it to become national news. This doesn't seem like with everything that's going on, like it can kind of punch through.
I think my biggest hope was if you know anybody locally in West Virginia, maybe encourage them to encourage people in their states to get to know each other, and especially in their local counties, and to get to know your local law enforcement bigger than ever, I think.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But yeah, I don't know anybody in West Virginia.
You're the best, Danny. I just thought I would try.
No problem.
Thank you for taking my call. I love your show, man. Keep going.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Bye. Regina, everybody. All right, we're going to go to a break momentarily. I'm going to read some more super chats. Iron Man Bill says, top of the food chain. My nuts itch. Love Philly. Matt Sanko, if you know the Hard Times, founder of the Hard Times, says Danny Trump is bluffing. The paper you read is his economic equivalent of John Bolton, guy who used to make his foreign policy threats more credible. Potentially. But then the thing is, if he's bluffing, he would want this paper to be out there. Like, this should be everywhere. Like, this guy should be, if this is the case where he's bluffing, then this guy, Stephen Mirren, should be doing press saying this is what we're going to do. Dainty Turtle says, why is a weaker dollar better? Weaker dollar is better because it makes exports more attractive, because if the dollar's weaker, people want to buy more American goods. They'll travel more to America. Like, if you're Canadian, it's so expensive to travel to America. Adam Bednar says, love you, Danny. Keep LVM going. Shout out Sparky Boys. Benny the Jet says they booed the anthem. Automatic tariff. Chopped Glock says, I appreciate you, Danny, even though you're one of the chosen. Thank you. Anton says, manifest destiny. And all right, that's it. We're going to go to a break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with Nick Rochefort. In the meantime, enjoy a clip from last week's episode of The Bathhouse, where our boy Pablo finally got some. Brings a tear to my eye. See you shortly.
I got my dick sucked in Vegas last month.
Oh!
There we go.
didn't want to mention that. Are you kidding me? That's something.
And how big of a dent did that put in the car fund?
Congratulations, Pablo. Yes, man. Dude, that is honestly maybe the best news I've heard in months. Because this has been like a 2-year thing.
Wow.
Pablo maybe called in on the first episode of this show.
I think I've actually talked.
Probably
had a conversation.
So Pablo, how did that work?
Draft.
Was it like a? Did you pay a professional, or was this like you kind of did this?
Yes, I paid a professional. I said I'm in Vegas. I won a little bit. I won a little bit of cash at the casino. I was like, you know what? Let's see if my luck keeps going.
It's not really lucky.
That's not like transactional thing.
I don't care. Don't let them bring you down right now.
No,
Pablo.
we're not bringing you down.
Pablo.
Let's see if I can get lucky with this whore. Hey, how much do you need?
$100. Fortune favors the bold.
Where did you find this upstanding young woman?
Escort website that I remember Louis J. Gomez talking about.
Oh my God! See, people say comedy podcasts are just pointless. They really help people.
They're very informative. How much? May we ask?
It was $600.
Oh my God!
It was $600. It was terrible.
Wait, what?
It was terrible.
Was it a condom on blowjob?
What was that?
Did you have to wear a condom for the blowjob?
Yes.
Johnny Glover.
This is so much worse than not getting blown, dude.
No, I don't agree.
It's still better.
I don't agree. No. I'm rooting for you, but based on the reaction in this fucking room, that it was good.
Yeah,
no matter how it
this
happens.
is still good. This is still a step in the right direction. $600.
600.
That's
USD?
That's Joe Biden's economy right
CAD?
there. Fucking condom blowies are $600.
Inflation, bro.
What'd you do? Buy her eggs?
Jeez, $600? How much was it to have sex with her?
What was that?
How much was it for full sex?
I didn't really ask that. I just asked how much a blowjob was.
And she goes, $600.
I'm gonna suggest that the way you entered the room and the way you asked for a blowjob, she took one look at you and was like, "I can probably get $600 bucks." Because there's no such thing as a $600.
She highballed you.
You also bought a gram of weed for $2,000.
Yeah. Please don't buy this $20,000 Mustang for $35,000, dude.
Yeah. Don't bring this negotiating tactics to the fucking dealership, dude.
You didn't think of maybe just saying a different number down? I don't know how it works. I'm not even being a dick. Are you allowed to bargain?
I don't know how it works either.
Yeah.
You can know. Wait, hold on now. But was that the price that was posted on the website, or did you guys not talk price until she arrived?
No. You text them and you text them. They go in or out. It was an out call.
Okay.
And they said out call. These are the prices.
Out calls where they come to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and so she came out to a. I'm assuming it was so expensive because I was in a kind of sketchy part of Vegas.
Oh.
Should be cheaper then.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I think so.
I have a follow-up.
Vegas is everything's
Not if
expensive.
they see you coming, though, dude.
Yeah.
Wait, why was it so bad though? What was so shitty?
So this is the
about it?
first time your penis has ever been in a woman's mouth and it wasn't good?
What the fuck is that noise?
I don't know.
Sorry, say that again?
I said this was the first time your penis has ever been in a woman's mouth and it was not good.
What do you mean not good?
Like you didn't like it?
About?
Like you didn't, not that you didn't like it. I'm sure you liked it, but like you said it wasn't that good. Like what was specifically the issue?
No, I mean, no, it felt good, but then, I nutted and then she left and I was like, I paid $600 for that?
Yeah.
Would you have preferred she stayed?
Just fucking talk your ear off, coked out prostitute.
That's literally what you pay for, dude. It's $100 for the blowjob, $500 for her to get the fuck out of there when you're done.
Peace out. No cuddling. How long did you last?
What the fuck was it? Let me see. We talked for probably 3 minutes before she put the condom on, and then I don't know, maybe 2.
All right, we are back, everybody. Thank you for waiting patiently in the break. We got Nick Rochefort, everybody. What's up, man?
Hey, how are you, Danny? How's it going?
I'm good. How you been?
I've been good, man. I've been
Last time I saw you, I was blacked out in a casino at 4 a.m.
Well, good. I ended up staying till 10:30 a.m., which is the perfect time to stay at a casino and drink and talk to people. So thank you.
Man.
No. Yeah, that was really good. So since then, I've embraced sobriety and Jesus and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Sure, that's what generally happens. Is you have a rough one and you go, I think I'm a Jesus guy now.
Yeah, this is going to be good for me. I like the way this feels on it. I'm going to wear it like a nice shirt.
You're gonna wear a nice shirt? I mean, dude, you make some fire shirts. That's the thing is you can whip them up yourself.
Yeah, no, I whip them. Yeah, I craft them. I screen print them. No, I have a team of girls making them. But no, I'm saying Jesus Christ fits like a nice pair of pants. It fits like a nice slacks after a 10:30 in the morning being a fucking degenerate piece of shit. So
yeah, sorry, I just realized my video wasn't on for you. Love
there
it.
You go.
Producer Mark got it on. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. So how you been feeling about things? Just the world.
Good, man. Yeah, the world's good. I never pay attention one foot in front of the other, but busy, man. Fucking lifting and
getting yoked.
Trying to get yanked. That's my. I want to get as big as possible at 40, which is the perfect time to get fucking yanked.
Yeah, me too. I'm the same age. That's what. Dude, I saw Alex. Did you see Alex Jones?
Yeah, he looks good, huh?
He's on T though. He's got to be.
Oh yeah, he's got a team. He does look good. And honestly, I saw a picture of him literally this morning. I was like, damn. I said to my wife, I was like, fucking Alex Jones looks fucking good, dude.
He's got.
I mean, we look similar. Like, like I'm not far away from Jones. Like, I will look like him when I get older. Him or John Taffer, one or the other.
I mean, he's got like the Mel Gibson.
How are you doing? Last time I talked to you, you were on like that was only in October. But you were on T. You were hitting it.
No, not on T. I was on what was I taking? L-carnitine. No, that's what I was on. I want to go on T, but the thing is it makes you sterile.
Really?
Yeah, it's like you can be sterile, and then it's I don't want to lose the option to have kids.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want to get on T, man. I honestly want to have kids just so I could go on T, just so I can kind of get that out of the equation.
Yeah, so the only way to do it, I think the best way to do it is next time you come inside your wife, you have to say, is this fucking good enough for you? As you're driving her by the pussy?
Can we do an instant pregnancy test, please? Because I really want to go on testosterone.
You just call a doctor on speakerphone, and then you just like, I just came in here. When is this fucking baby going to come out of a cunt? And then the doctor's like, is that how he thinks it works?
Yeah, well, I just want my youthful energy back.
No, I know. I see the guys on T, and like you can see it in their face and their lifts and shit like that. I go to like the old fucking homo gym, and it's like with all kids, like baseball fucking losers and shit, and they're all on T, and I'm like, I try as hard as I can, but you can just tell I'm getting outclassed like 5-1 by these guys that are cheating, and I'm jealous. I want to go back on.
I mean, you know what? I did Ethan Suplee. You know him?
Yeah.
I did his podcast, and he's obviously like gotten huge. And because I don't know if you have the same deal. I don't not to make this like a big workout thing, but I try and go hard, and then I just get so banged up.
Yeah.
And he was like,
your shoulder separate and shit like that.
Oh man, it's just it's whatever. There's just always something. Like it's always just like I'd go hard, and then I'm just like out for a month or two or whatever. And then you kind of lose all your progress. Like you lose a lot of it fast or whatever. But his whole thing is he's like, I do really like light weights. Same with Rogan actually, but they just like, they go really light and just like super high volume, but you don't get banged up. I want to ask you, cause I a bunch of people dropped me some questions, and I'm sure people will call in. I'm going to open the phone lines in a bit, cause I'm sure there's a million questions for you. How's the real estate market?
It's good, man. I'm building to rent, which is like kind of like a thing they're doing in Texas right now. Real estate market's good overall. There's no supply. I mean, it's going to be like a regional caving in certain areas, like the overdeveloped areas where guys built, like there's just no houses. Let's build. And, the Pulte guys, the major builders. We have a couple of guys that like follow that. Give us intel, but like basically Florida, Arizona, all the places you'd expect: Riverside, California, Florida, Arizona, Texas, some parts of North Carolina, Idaho, places that got too big too fast, and then Florida in its in certain areas. I think West Palm and South Florida is going to be okay, but the rest of it might. I think Jacksonville and Tampa are going to be okay, but some parts up here there's just no inventory. Things are selling for. I hate the market where I live. I live in Rhode Island. I'm building like right around $1 million price tag house. I'm building one. I have another lot that I'm going to build another one, and I'm just building them and renting them out. That's it.
Yeah. And you're renting out just to families.
To my boys.
Oh, to your boys.
I'm renting one out to like Joey, the rapper Joey.
Yeah.
He's got the first one, and then I got a second one that I might take, and then I'll rent my house out to Alex Schultz, my guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to make any money on the actual. I don't give a fuck. I'll just like, hey, listen, this is the mortgage, this is the nut. It's kind of a retarded plan. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I know I can build them for like, I think like 600 grand. I'm getting kicked in the teeth so fucking bad. Like, imagine a guy who's, I'm a tall guy who looks like he could build a house. Just imagine me crawling backwards onto the lot and sucking cock all day. That's what it looks like me. That's what it looks like me building houses.
Are you getting hurt with the deportations?
No, none of that.
None
Literally
of that?
not even like an ounce of that. No.
Like, it's
I'll
not
be
like
sad when
it's not hard to.
Framers are like white guys around here. Like even the landscapers are all legal. They're Guatemalan, but they're fucking more racist than I am.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, they're like, get them the fuck out of here. That guy's a fucking, you should hear what they say. They're fucking wild.
So I'm actually a renter, but like it was funny because I actually wanted to ask you, how do you like avoid getting ripped off by like tradespeople, or is it just not avoidable?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't just understand the complexity of the job. I mean, there's like a questioning, asking their time frames, understanding the job. I know how to do things, but when it comes to like touching tools and like I can't swing a hammer. I've just been around enough jobs to know, but like knowing what they're gonna do, like in when they start telling you need like tail light oil and shit like that, like
you're in trouble.
I get it. I suck dick. I get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it. It's just understanding the job and then understanding like how much things are. Like a guy, my garage door guy, just tried to get me real bad, and I kind of yelled at him. I was like, "What do I look like, a fucking asshole, Paul?" Like, I asked him, "How much do you want to make for a day's work? Just tell me straight up. You can't insult me." And he's like, 2,000. I'm like, "Well, then how's the job 16 grand?"
Right.
You want me to believe that 2 garage doors are fucking 7,000 a piece cost? What, I look fucking gay to you, dude? Like, give me a break. My Marvin, like, my wicked expensive front door is like 2,800 or 3,200. A garage door is 7,000
a pop.
Well, and it's like, see, now you fucked up.
Yeah.
Now you get none of my one house per year jobs.
Hey man, soon. Dude, that shit compounds.
Get out of New York, you fucking maniacs!
I know, man. I was just in Delray Beach all weekend.
Yeah,
dude, it's so nice down there.
Wait, did you go to Black Box?
No, I wasn't even doing comedy. My in-laws have a little vacation property down there that just sits empty all year round.
Go live there. What the fuck are you crazy?
Literally, it's like I joke about it, but it's Del Boca Vista from Seinfeld. Like it's this all Jewish country club thing where you go for dinner and like every meal gets sent back.
Yo, scratch that whole idea.
Dude, literally every meal gets sent back. Like you just go and like the waiters are like so numb to it because they're just like they just know, like because some people do feel bad. You're like, I have to send this back, and they're just like, no, it all gets sent back. Do you design? Yeah, it's literally that's what it is. Do you design all the places yourself, like the interiors?
Yeah. I love that's the part I like to razzle dazzle about now. My wife and I have been doing like interiors and shit for like we've done like 3 or 4 houses together. I bought this barn I'm living in. I built this barn here, but this is my first like full build. I built this barn that I'm in last year, and this cost me like a little bit. And this is like, it's like a store, but it's cool.
Dude, I wish. Oh man, I wish I had a barn I could hide from my wife in.
Yeah, you should. I mean, you can't have that in New York. You can have a bar you can hide from your wife.
yeah. That's more like.
Find you.
So you do all like the interior like decorating stuff. I guess not the decorating, but like.
Yeah, I know all the materials selection, the layout. I basically took a stock plan and then I modified a stock plan and I showed them like ideas, and they were like, I want to do a metal roof and this, triple gay siding, and they were like, yeah, I understand. And then I just jazzed up all the windows real hard. The flooring's going to be sick. I always do the mechanical pretty sick. So Radiant, Wiesmann, spoilers, and then like the cabinets I don't really go nuts on. That's like a thing that a lot of women do. They go like nuts on cabinetry, and you can spend stupid amounts of money, or you can custom color them. So I'm doing the cabinets kind of like a color like this wine color. So I'm gonna do a weird color on a cheaper cabinet. Not a cheaper cabinet. It's not cheap, but I'm not gonna go like
you're not going like
cabinet.
Italian marble shit. Like going,
you can go like foil front doors and shit like that, where people go like full like, oh, the cabinets are 140,000. Like that's fucking stupid. I'm not. So the cabinets are gonna be 30.
Yeah, like you do like the induction. Like you ever see those like the induction like marble where it doesn't even look like there's a stove there or anything?
Yeah, like that's for like $4 million. That's more $4 million plus. That like marble specialty shit. I will flex with my marble guy a little bit, but not that much. All my appliances are used. I have like a used appliance guy that gets me like 40% off, and they're all high end. They're all like top like Viking, Wolf, all that shit. But instead of spending like 35,000 on appliance, I spent like 13.5 grand or something like that.
That's pretty good.
You just take like you pick your battles. You know what I mean? Like I can't go full retard shower. I can't do like sauna built in, but I can do like laundry room made out of stainless steel medical cabinets that I found online.
That's pretty cool.
Like weird little shit that you can pick my and that's kind of like the name of the game.
Yeah, you seem to have a pretty good eye for like aesthetics and stuff. I find like also with your clothing, you got the fucking rug business. I mean, it's crazy because you're like the only comedian who's actually like a successful business person. Like comedians are like retarded with business normally.
I've heard they're bad with money, man. Like I've seen some fucking stories where people, I'm like, what the fuck? Especially New York guys, because you guys everybody makes a decent amount of money. I was a car salesman making like $1.50, and most comedians are making whatever, 25 to 125,000 a month on your average guy.
Not me, but yeah, like the bigger ones for sure. But yeah,
like, even like like a normal guy who's whatever. I don't need to name names, but they're making whatever.
I mean, they make a lot of them make. I know a lot of guys who make 50 grand a weekend.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. And you'll talk to them, and they're like, oh, "I don't even know what a car is," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Or like I was talking to Bobby Kelly at Tim's birthday party when I saw Ryan, and Bobby.
Yeah, I had severe FOMO for missing that, but I was fucking sick with the Chinese flu.
Really?
Yeah, I was so sick, man.
I know. I was like, well, they'll be there because.
Yeah, I was getting messages and everybody was sending me photos, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm like so sick right now." And then I'm like, I can't be there, just like coughing up a lung on everybody, and then everybody gets sick because of me.
It was pretty like close quarters too. Like it would have been. It was all right, but I was talking to Bobby Kelly about like he's like buying a house in New Hampshire and shit, and he was like he's the first guy I've even talked to that's like, yeah, I'm finally gonna buy a house out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, why doesn't like I always yell at Mullen all the time, I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of New York City, man. I know. Just buy. Anything.
He doesn't even like do spots really, so I don't even like. It's not like you see him around doing tons of spots where he's like, I need to be in New York City.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like that's why I don't understand. Like I get. And again, like I went, New York stand-up culture is like, I'm going to pop in and do 5. Like, I don't even know what that means. So like, that's a whole nother animal. I'd rather like, no, I'm like, I'd rather eat a fucking live rat, like head first than do 5. Like for anyone, even I don't care who the fuck it was. Like Louis C.K., I couldn't care less. Like impossible.
Yeah.
So I think, but I mean, some guys do shit. Like I mean, I would
love to not live here. I have to live here, like, but I would at least at the moment.
Family there?
No, I'm from Canada. I don't have any family here.
What the fuck are you doing there? Why don't I live in Hudson or something? I don't understand that.
Because it's far. Well, I guess for like to do stand up, it's like what I'm gonna drive into the city to do like 2 spots or something. Like Hudson's like a 90-minute drive each way.
When people ask you to do spots, just say "fuck you" and then don't do them.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not quite there yet, but I had some questions for some people, and I'm gonna open the phone lines in a bit, and I don't know what the questions are gonna be like on the phones, but this is actually an interesting thing. So this is from Snake. He wants to know if buying a house 3 hours from Manhattan is a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the spot that's gonna blow up the most, like that Woodstock shit. We just did Syracuse, Albany, and Hartford. So I was like 3 hours from the city, and I did like the hardest antiquing trip ever. I have a Sprinter van. I took my Sprinter van. I went like hard, like by myself, sober. I spent $35,000 on antiques in like
Ooh.
3 days. It's like I love. Like I was in like my cum mode. Like I was like full cunt. Like me versus like women with pearls on. I'm like, get out of my way, you fucking dyke. Real player in town.
Yeah, you're basically like
Yeah.
you're like antique Gary V.
Yeah. Out of my way, you fucking fat divorcee. You got nothing on you. You're not buying anything. You worthless twat.
Do you do like garage sales and shit?
No, I do shops and dealers only.
Yeah.
So I'll go to like fancy shops. It's fun. It's just more. It saves the bullshit. I go to auctions a lot. Auctions are really good. Go to auctionship.com. But as far as outside the city is very good. Like I think everybody who's our age is going to have enough of New York City soon, especially when we're in war and they shut the social services off and homeless people are going to be eating your hair. Like your beautiful family is going to be like chewed apart from the crotch up. I don't know. I think
I like the antique stuff. So my wife does. We just moved into a place that's like a newer building, and my wife designs it. And I joke because she makes it look like a fucking Soviet prison because she's all into that like super modern, like the super where just everything's like beige or cream or white.
Yep.
The whole place. I honestly want to get one of your rugs just to like give it some color, but I feel like it'd be just
She'd probably
an absolute
shoot it.
fight.
She probably should roll you up in it and throw you off the balcony.
Yeah.
She wants it all like she wants it like nude core.
Yeah. She wants it like whatever Kim Kardashian was doing like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's a hard insult. I'm surprised she that's what I would say to her if I didn't feel like she was gonna stab me in the fucking chin with a letter opener.
Dude, you met her. She's crazy, but
yeah,
she's beautiful. She's very beautiful. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be with her if she was gross.
She's like this. She's like, say it again. Say that it's 10-year-old style because it is.
I know.
Yeah, no, I follow AD. I follow like AD trend lists constantly. Like I have like five hyper gay designers that I just follow and I listen to every word they say. And I'm like, what did they say? Green's out? Like,
is that why your like aesthetic stuff is so good? Because actually, like, you're obviously you have the rugs and stuff, and I don't know if people know this, but you have this like crazy rug business. I'm sure lots of people do know that. But then like obviously your clothes, even like your thumbnails and like even like the sketches you guys do has such a like specific aesthetic.
We're like RISD pussies, man. Like I'm like a RISD. My cousin's a RISD grad. Sam's a RISD guy. I
don't know
what's
RISD.
Stop sucking cock. RISD's like Rhode Island School of Design. It's like probably top 5 art schools in the world.
That makes sense. I didn't know that about you guys, that you guys were all in the design world. That makes actually a lot of sense.
Yeah, it helps. And I was like the idiot. I was like, you ever see Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah.
Like, the one that's like, nerds!
Yeah, I'm the big jock guy.
I was like that guy at art school, but I didn't go to art school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like, I make my own, like, thumbnails for shit, and I just feel like I'm, like, making these things. I got, like, no hands. I'm just, like, fucking limbless
trying
to throw these things together, and I just feel fucking useless.
You'll pick it up. You gotta hire a nerd. You need nerds are important.
Or I gotta read this. What is it? AD, architectural. Digest?
AD or like just look up all the fucking twizzling pussies that I follow, and they're like, hey, what's up? TikTok? It's me, Sterling Matazario, and I'm like, yeah, I don't even know who these people are. It's like 2 gay Italian guys in Chicago that are like, these are trends that are falling off big time. Cream and beige, yucca poo. And
like if my wife saw that,
hell yeah! Oh, that shit's fucking dope.
Robert, this is another question. This is from Robert. He says you've I'm from Canada, obviously. You've spoken a lot about the Canadian real estate market, where it's due to massive mafia and cartel-like money laundering operations. So,
is it?
He said that's what you've been saying. I don't know if that's true or not.
I just can't imagine that it's.
I think it is. It is true.
Yeah, I heard there's like you were telling me about the Indian mafia.
There's in BC. There's like huge Indian mafia. I mean, they just busted these like Sikh truck drivers with like. I think it was like 80 kilograms of fentanyl or some shit. Like they get popped all the time for like massive. They're like the big like drug people now in Canada. Is all like the Sikhs.
Wild. That's very wild. I feel like there's gonna be like I hope that you guys are able to step on them early. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to get to like. I'm sure the cartel is not too appreciative of some fucking Indian guys moving into their northern territory trying to smuggle fentanyl into the United States.
I think they probably work with them, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump, Trump today, like with they had the whole tariffs thing, and then Canada basically gave all these concessions to not get these tariffs or whatever. I don't know how much you've been following it, but part of it was like clamping down big time on money laundering.
Well, you guys have absentee ownership in Chinese people in British Columbia that have just completely ravaged your country.
I know.
It's so sad because like Canadians are. I don't know. I hung out up. We went to Montreal. We did a show up there, and it was like kind of weird. I was like, do they like us? I was like, they're so. And then you'd meet up, and they were like the most polite people.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You just kind of like you're like, oh man, you guys just like you're like it's like Minnesota. I did like a Somali joke in Minnesota. And it was pretty rough. And it was like, I couldn't post that shit online, but it was like, they were like, I can't believe he's saying this right now. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Your country, like, your sister got raped with a sword. Like, why are you like empathetic to this? Like, let's burn some shit down. And they were like, I was like, oh, that's how Canadians must be. They must be like really sweet.
Yeah, unfortunately, in my opinion, to their detriment now because Trump wants to make them a fucking territory or 51st state.
You guys hate that when he says that?
I mean, the weird thing is that, like, again, I live in the U.S.
Yeah.
When I moved 5 years ago, when I was living in Canada or whatever, 5.5 years ago, 0% of people would have any interest in joining America. Now, as of a recent poll, it was 17%.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's insulting to say that to anyone, like, we'll just make you a state. And then I know that I remember
you guys did it to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we made them a Commonwealth. That worked out really well. They have like a fucking 10% solving murder rate in Macho got his head blown off and they were like, I don't know, I don't see nothing, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no.
Kind of left.
The older Canadians, I know the old Canadians don't like it, but yeah, the Chinese. The problem is that in China, they don't have a stock market that you can invest in. The only thing you're allowed to invest in is real estate, and they treat them like fucking Jordans, where real estate's more valuable if nobody's ever lived in it. So then they just keep them empty, even though you could be renting them out. Yeah, like it's basically the only. Weird. That's why they keep them empty in like BC and stuff. Because literally they're like, it's better if nobody's ever lived there.
Oh, so they do everything fucked up. Yeah, they used to buy cars like that. Like, all their buying motivation is so fucking difficult to like play hopscotch on. I used to sell them Mercedes and shit, and they would like come up with the weirdest shit to like, you have a G-Wagon? And it'd be like, yeah, 11-year-old Chinese art student with no driver's license. I have a fucking G-Wagon to sell you. Like, you don't even have a fucking a visa. Like, how am I going to... You want a loan on it, and your girlfriend's over here, like, literally shivering, and I'm here to selling you guys, like, a car in the rain.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Apparently a big scam with Chinese people is they come over here, they get a social security number, and then they get, like, a platinum Amex, run it up, like, completely, and then they just dip.
They bounce, they buy, like, Prada bags and shit. So, it makes sense. I would do that if I was... I want to go to China and do that. You know what I mean? They're not going to head that. I love the reality of people coming over, pillaging and bouncing. But I think that we need to bridge the gap and let you know, like, your average American, your average second-generation American is a Canadian's best friend. They need to know that. The sensibility is right there. It's dead in line.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. The older Canadians like really hate this 51st state stuff because they remember Canada that like was actually had a national identity, whereas now the younger ones are like, we don't really have a national identity, so
yeah, I get a lot of messages from Canadian kids that are pretty wild, like the wild Canadian kids, and they're talking about like just the Chinese and Indian immigration problem that's like just absolutely ruined the country, and they're not too bashful about having any words about it. So I can
yeah,
I got you, brother. No, I think I think Canadian like landscape as far as is the land rich, and I know like the lumber and all that stuff. Like I got a phone call today from my builder. He's like, hey, get ready for a lumber spike. The Canadian lumber yards, et cetera, like the Georgia Pacific and Louisiana Pacific, all these guys that are Canadian lumber mills are about to play a nice fucking pricing game with us and really feel
they were about to get 25%. Actually, that's a good thing to ask you because you obviously probably buy lumber. Like,
I just started. Yeah, thank God I already bought my lumber for this one house that I'm building. But my buddy did call me and say like, "Hey, your lumber's about to jump, so buy
25%. So if so, this is like kind of a real world example of these tariffs, which I do believe are probably coming like at some point.
Oh yeah,
for sure. But so if your lumber costs go up 25%, like you just eat it and just pass it on.
Yeah, you have to eat it and pass it on.
That's kind of the only thing you can do.
Home building. I mean, I'm building like I have a whatever. I'm not in the matrix of concern. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit here like I'm building one fucking house. But the reality of it is like a lumber bill on a house is like, let's just call it 75 grand. So if it goes to 100, and if I'm selling the house for 800,000, $1 million, I can absorb. If you're a good builder and you're building the houses that are worth, you know what I mean? Like it can't absorb, and the buyer will be like, what do you want me to say, man? The fucking lumber's expensive. Shut up. Buy it or don't. I don't give a fuck. I'll rent it. Or you build one, you fucking dickhead. Oh, you didn't like what was built? Oh, okay. Because people don't sell custom homes anymore. They just build like production shit. That's my problem. That's why I'm doing this, because I can't stand it. But yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, liquefied natural gas and anything directly associated with that.
Everything. All right, I'm gonna open the phone lines up because I assume people are fucking chomping at the bit here. If you have any questions for Nick,
give me him.
1-888-949-2969. I'm sure this question is going to be asked. I'm just going to get it out of the way because a bunch of people messaged me. When is the next season of the show coming out?
World Peace 2 is in its final buff. I mean, it basically, just so everybody understands, it's in a coloring. The final thing, when everything's locked off, all the pictures locked, right? The sound's locked, the graphics are locked in. It's what's called coloring, and everything gets like tinted and colored and all blocked and masked, and like the glare is done right. So I mean, that's where it's at, and it's not us. It's a third party guy that was in California. He was in the fires and whatnot. So it's long and it's out there with him getting done. When we get it back, we release it episode by episode. But we gave it to him in the beginning of the year. So we had like a problem with the drive that set us back a week, but that's it.
Yeah,
that's really. So we'll be here as soon as possible.
Soon.
Yeah.
Do you feel a little vindicated with this Trump stuff second time around? Like in terms of your guys' deal with the show the first time around? Like, dude, I was reading some of the articles today that were written about the show the first time around, and they now read like satire.
All right. I know. It's kind of like one of those things where you're just early on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Charles in our group, he's like always really early on things, and Sammy's really early, and I kind of don't pay. I'm like the least one that I pay attention to the least. I just, I don't give a fucking shit. I don't know why Trump didn't call me and give me money and be like, dude, I'm sorry, you guys, you're the only guys on TV that stuck up for us or even said anything. Here's something. So now we're getting closer to him a little bit. Like we've got a couple of guys that we've met with that are close, but I don't know. I mean, it feels good. Yeah, we got some inner circle guys that are like around, but even then, I don't give a fucking shit unless you're gonna like give me money or make my life easier. I'm not getting involved in it. You know how it is, man. You know, I'm sure you know how it is.
Yeah, for sure. You're like
you have to talk this political talk with people. You want to fucking kill yourself. Personally, when I start talking, I'd rather talk about like my mom's pubic hair than this shit.
All right, let's take a call here. 1 sec, please. We got Drew here. Drew, are you there, man?
What's up, doggy?
Yo, you're on with Nick. Go ahead.
What's up? Well, I wanted to bring up a subject earlier. We were talking about some. I don't know if Nick watches the show. We were talking about some of the immigration things, and I've had an idea earlier with the was it Dr. Phil and the Holman doing the live stream. Get some super chats going on that. But what if we started doing an Obama style, but Trump style phone to all these illegal immigrants, and they can live stream their deportation, and then the Mexican government or Venezuela, wherever they're from, can take a portion of that, and then we can take a portion of that, and all the countries can be happy off of this. We can all fund it.
How much money do you think these fucking streams make?
I mean, the Dr. Phil, Tom Homan.
$1.50 to watch this guy get his fucking head stepped on by a state trooper.
You're gonna get a lot of streams, but it's just only on X. By the way, it should be an X phone funded by Elon, and then he can post all the beheadings and shit, and you're going to get a lot of people super chatting on that.
Did you see, Nick, the Dr. Phil deporting people with Tom Homan? Live streaming it?
Is that the one where he showed up and he was like, hello?
Yeah.
And he was like standing in like a circle with a guy?
Yeah, he was standing in a circle in Chicago outside.
Some Chinese guy got busted, like Taiwanese
It was a
guy got busted?
No, it was a Thailand guy from Thailand. It was like some
Thailand,
pedophile.
okay.
Some Thai pedophile.
Yeah, he got caught and he was like, I don't know. Oh, you're Dr. Phil, right? He like recognized him?
Yeah.
Okay,
I was saying,
I did see
dude,
that.
they live stream that shit. That would be a fucking banger.
It would, yeah. You could put Hopecore videos to it and shit, like music. You could put music to it. You could put like filters on it and shit. You could be like the king from a deck of cards or something.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, I don't know about the Venezuelan element of it though with the phones, but they got phones, man. They don't need phones. You got anything else?
Give them a free phone to stream. Give them a channel, and the channel's connected to whatever government they go back to, and our government, so we get a cut too.
That's
And
too much
it's
red
a
tape.
Win-win-win. They get commissary while they're in prison there in their home country where they belong.
That's what.
At least you get commissary
Dude.
now for your live streams, and you have a phone.
You guys should, Nick. You guys should do like some weird fucking Shark Tank kind of thing where people like pitch you these insane business ideas.
That is honestly, bro. That like I gotta give it to you, bro. That's one of the craziest fucking things I've ever heard anybody say in my fucking life. Like this pitch right now is like, obviously
you're
I've heard
out.
a lot of shit. I've never heard anything like that. Just so calmly, like, yo, dude, I'm dead serious, bro. You should fucking do this.
The super chats will fund the deportation.
It's not the worst idea.
No, it's not a bad idea at all. I just can't believe how calm you are about it. I mean, this in a good
also
way.
think Trump should start walking out to blame Canada by South Park. So
Yeah, he could, I mean, dude, is whatchamacallit not bouncing for a hot minute? Your boy up there?
No, dude, he's out in I think like a month and a bit. I think he has like a little more than a month left, Trudeau. But then
didn't
the
he say he's
replace.
going to stay in for more than that? He's
No,
just like there.
Well, it sounds like they're replacing him with this guy who used to be the head of the Bank of England. This guy Mark Carney, who's completely unelected. He's just going to step in, but he could be there for like 2 years.
The Bank of England. That sounds like a great replacement, right?
Yeah, they're gonna be great about it. I'm sure the Queen Elizabeth's probably.
I mean, the Queen's already on your money.
I think it's the
Yeah.
king now. Actually, all the new money is the king. I haven't been there since they've been minting the king money, but apparently it's the king.
You
now.
have a dude on your money, Paul.
Yeah. All right, Drew. Anything else, man?
No, nothing except for a shout out, Connor Dog.
Thanks, dog. Shout out Connor, my dog. I got a question from Dylan Farnham. I don't know what this means, but he says, "Can you ask Nick what a Merc-Tech's next step in the company should be?"
A Merc-Tech's?
I don't know what that is. Merc, M-E-R-C Techs, T-E-C-H-S.
Merck Pharmaceutical is probably what I'm assuming. M-E-R-C-K.
No, not M-E-R-C, not Merck Pharmaceutical. I don't know what this
Jeez.
means.
Merc-Tech's next step should be.
I have no idea what that means. I don't know if that's some sort of inside thing that I don't know.
Oh yeah, man. Sometimes people send me things like that, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, dude, I didn't even know." You should you should Delta phase on that. Go phaser 6. Set it to -3 to -6, and then honestly, you're gonna multiply that by your fly rate, and if it's 0.2 to 0.7, we're gonna be in anywhere from green to light yellow.
Ooh, light yellow.
Yeah.
Light yellow is the hot spot right there.
Right. You're gonna make more. You're gonna make more Delta at light yellow.
You're a big cold weather guy, huh? You like the cold weather?
I don't mind it at all. Yeah.
You don't mind it? Where would be the spot if you're trying to move to like in America, like the top warm weather place?
Oh, probably Delray Beach.
Really?
Yeah. Did you go to that 546 steak? I know this sounds so stupid, but we all went when we went. We did the Black Box in Comedy Island. We did this place in Delray. I had the best steak I've ever had in my life, and you're a cunt. I'm a cunt.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how they had like. I couldn't believe that they put it together that we were comedians, and they gave us the fucking red carpet. I got to find this place. I would live. I can't believe you're not there taking advantage of that.
I know, man. Dude, my wife was like, she's like, you should just cancel the show tonight and just stay here. I'm like, no, I literally left Florida this morning to come back to the frigid New York cold just so I could entertain the scroats.
Cut 432. That's the house. That's the place we went to.
Is it like downtown Delray?
Yep.
Yeah.
All the fucking yuppies coming out of their fucking canoes, just all dumping in the golf carts with
the golf carts. I know everybody's just ripping these fucking souped out golf carts down the road.
Yeah. Smell the money. I loved it. I was like, this is heaven.
I know. There's this one guy had some crazy. It was probably this guy was like probably in his 30s, but he had like some crazy Lambo that like he started. There was this old because there's so many old Jews down there. And then he fucking fired up his Lambo and the noise it made. And like all these people were like getting so angry. They were like sitting on a patio and like his exhaust was like you could see their like hair kind of like blowing back a bit. And they were just all like so pissed.
They're like, oh my God, it's the Chambers. No.
It's happening again.
Yeah, here we go again. But no, that was that's probably some 3,000 horsepower Lamborghini. That's awesome.
It was like I don't know what model it was, but it was a really long body. Like it wasn't one of those like cheap ones or whatever with the small body. It was like really long, like race, like IndyCar length. It was fucking insane. Yeah,
something fucking like that's what they got. Like, there's so much fucking money in Florida, like that part of Florida.
It's crazy.
Like every Goldman Sachs guy just moved down there, and they don't have anything to do. Like every guy our age that's like, my dad runs a portfolio for Goldman Sachs or a hedge fund, and they're like, he moved to whatever, like Palm or Jupiter or wherever the fuck they go.
Yeah,
they don't have anything to live for.
I know.
Like you're a fucking trust fund kid. You're going to follow daddy down to fucking South Florida, and they're all there. So, yeah.
I love it because I don't know. Like, it's weird that Florida is like the butt of so many jokes. Because I like the first time I ever went down here, I was like, I don't even get it. This place is awesome.
Yeah, no, I kind of felt the same way. I was like, it's got 5 gears. Like Tampa's its own thing, Jacksonville's its own thing, and like Miami's like hyper. Like I'm not a Miami guy, but I'm like a
I'm not a huge.
I like
Miami
like
guy.
the Guinea Spacone shit. Like I'll take all that stuff.
I like Fort Lauderdale and like further north.
Yeah,
that's my sweet spot right there.
Yeah, no, I'll take like all that Boca Raton. I like that. That's fine with me. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me take another call here. One moment, please. We got Slav calling in from Texas. Slav, what's up, man?
Hello.
Yo, what's up, dude? Yo, Slav, I gotta say just one thing. You got my fucking podcast demonetized last week with your little I can't even say the word. It's crazy. It's a very minor slur. I thought we were like back.
Oh wow.
And then he said I don't want to say it because then I'm gonna get demonetized again. But it was specifically, you know how like on YouTube they give you the timestamp of the demonetization, and it was 1 second. The full timestamp was 1 second, and it was RAG head.
Well,
and they demonetized me for that. I thought Trump won. We could say that again.
Wait, what ethnic group was it referring to?
RAG heads.
Oh, yes. The people,
you can't say that on YouTube. Can't say that on YouTube.
I mean, they come from, it's like that Star Wars meme. We can't go outside. Too many sand people. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
When C3PO said that. Yeah, I was just calling, I was going to say, like, one, I think we've been a little too harsh on Canada over the last 20 years, saying, like, they're too polite, and they gave into that. But I got some good news. There's a lot of videos of, because you know how a lot of that term you said I used?
Yeah.
They're driving the trucks and messing up a lot.
Yep.
These 18, I've seen multiple videos of all these recovery tow truck drivers who have to like pull them out, pull the trucks out, pull all the cargo out, and they're mocking the drivers singing that ding-a-ling-a-ling-a, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a song. You know that?
Yeah.
That So I think
you're coming around to the Canadians is what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think there's a good there's a good tide turning where Canadians are. Look, I never thought Canadians were actual sourpusses or weaklings. I mean, the ones in the middle. Like, dude, Canadians always had rednecks. Always liked them. I think they're coming back, and it's good. It's just, I think, what is it? This whole, like, annex Canada, it's all fun and flirty, but I think it should just push them to kick out the people who don't make Canada Canadians, because a stereotypical Canadian is white or some Eskimo. That's it to me.
Yeah.
And I think if they don't want to be annexed, I think they should just start to, let's say, clean up,
I mean, they
clean up
are.
their identities.
I mean, that was part of the fucking reason the housing market's a mess, because they just brought in 5 million people in like 3 years or some shit into a country
They've done nothing wrong. They're the best. I think they opened their doors and they were sweethearts about it, and they got railed up the ass.
Oh, dude, killed, man. Well, it was a total scam. It was like they had these fake colleges that were like literally fucking, if you went and signed up for this college in like a strip mall, you got permanent residency in Canada. So then people from all over the world, mostly India, just were like, okay, well, that beats living here.
Sweden had that. I lived in Sweden with this girl I dated in Rhode Island, and I went out to visit her in Sweden one time, and she was like, you can just sign up over there and you can come to the Stockholm School of Economics. I was like, what? I was like, I can go to Harvard here if I'm fucking you? She was like, yeah.
Basically.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they got insane taxes there. Oh, did we lose him? We lost his video.
No, I'm here. No, I was just thinking that it'd be really cool that if there are Canadians who are opposed to getting annexed in some sort of way, like, I'm still open for a corridor.
It's just the
that
older
connects
ones.
Alaska to America. I'm still open to a corridor that connects Alaska to America, but it'd be really cool, like, if Canada could get their shit together and be like, you know what, we're gonna go back to what Canada used to be. Being like, literally, when I grew up as a kid, Canada was called the Great White North, not the Great Brown North. So it's
lost. Oh shit, we lost Nick. I don't know what happened.
Oh shit.
I don't know what happened here. And it says that the number's not on the screen. What do you mean? Is the number not on the screen right now? Because it is for me.
No, I see it.
Yeah, what's he talking about here? Okay, well, we lost Nick. Hopefully he'll come back.
Oh yeah, I also do enjoy Scuffed Realtor. On Tuesdays, on my commute back home, I'll watch it because I'm a cuck who sits on the train. So yeah, that stuff's cool. I mean, dude. I mean, also everyone's talking about Oliver Pierre, whatever his name is. I still don't like him as well. Like,
who's Oliver Pierre? Pierre Polyev?
No, who's that? Who's it? Yeah, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
He also did photo op. I just don't like how all these Canadian politicians grovel to all these subcontinent people.
Sure.
I'm trying to find good words.
I appreciate you trying to not get me in trouble. I mean, you are the reason why.
I've done it twice. You know, the WEF blocked you.
Yeah.
YouTube is chewing you out.
I got demonetized for life because of because of you, to be honest.
Well, how's the coin doing?
The coin's not doing good, man. The markets are fucking. I think the coin's might be almost worthless, actually.
Well,
not doing good.
You know the coin's going to do good because
Jew Bear, everybody.
The coin. Yeah, the coin. I was trying to call in the last.
I'm gonna guess Nick's phone died. By the way, that's gonna be my guess. I think his phone probably died.
You had Brett on the show. Last week, and
you have Brett coin,
which is. Yeah. Oh, I don't have it. No, but his coin is actually functional, as in you can go to all of his shows.
Right.
The coin that you created, it was created under the guise of Israeli firefighters in LA claiming the land. I don't know if any of the people have come back to their plot and found, Israelis there.
Not yet.
basically-
Not yet from what I've heard.
Yeah, so basically your coin would succeed if Israelis did the thing that they always do when they come to new land.
Well, it's not. I think the market cap of my coin is currently at like 30 grand, down from a high of $5 million. Somehow. I don't know how that's...
Do you not see how all of this is just like fake business bullshit?
Oh, I mean, it's total, like, again, it's just gambling. I mean, I was playing craps for the first time on the weekend, and I go, this is just the same thing. Not much different.
Has your $10 become more?
Well, it became more because a bunch of people made fake coins, sent them to me, and then the people were like, "You got to rug these coins so people know which one's the right one." So then I made money on those coins, but then they were like, "You need to buy more Jubear." So then I bought like several $1,000s worth of Jubear from the money that I made. But yeah, I made some money on it, but not from the actual coin because I've never sold any of it.
Yeah, why don't you just copy what Brett does and say if you own a Jubear coin, you can cover.
I'll never intentionally make a crypto coin. Like I'll only make one as a joke, like we did, only because most people just like end up losing money on them. Although someone apparently told Ryan at a show that he like made like $2 grand off of Jubear coin. So some people made some money, but I feel like that's just like a surefire way to get everybody to hate you. Is by making a coin and then they lose a bunch of money and they're like, fuck this guy. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, but just to harp on what I originally called in, I do kind of feel bad and have some regret in terms of Americans clowning on Canadians for decades.
Dude, they were booing the anthem. Dude, every game this weekend where a Canadian team was playing an American team, they were booing the U.S. anthem. Oh, Nick's back. Here we go.
Sorry about that.
All good. I figure your phone died.
Yep. Nah. Yeah. Apparently, this is highly draining. I guess. My bad.
No worries, dude. We got you back. Nick Rochefort, everybody. Welcome back.
Hey.
Welcome
But
back.
yeah, I guess my question for Nick is, how does he see like a right-wing traditionalist version of Canada coming back? Like, is there a Canadian Adolf?
No.
What about that guy from like Alberta?
Pierre
The fat guy.
Polyev. He's the fat guy. The Apple guy? The guy who like made that.
The guy who was like, "Yeah, we'll be a state. Why don't you suck my dick?"
Oh
That
yeah. That's yeah. I mean, there's no politician that could ever be like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. The only way that happens is literally it gets so bad that there's like a national referendum where people are like, we want to leave, and they just have to accept it, and then they just have to accept the results.
What are the hard right talking points in Canada?
Dude, the Conservative Party in Canada is like the Democrats here.
Right.
Like
They're
not
in bed with brown people. All the politicians in
the
Canada
CP. There's this guy Maxime Bernier who's like considered the far right. He would be considered far right even here, but he has like no traction. It's like he gets literally like 1% of the vote. It's nothing. Canada will never be.
You guys have like super Indian guy. What's that guy's name out there? Singh.
Jagmeet Singh. Yeah, he's like crazy leftist.
He supports terrorists.
Dude,
he supports terrorists.
He sucks.
Crash every
And he's
India plane.
Yeah, and he's an idiot. All right, Slav, I gotta let you go. I gotta take some more calls.
That sucks.
But
have a good night, guys.
Later,
Cup
dog.
gang.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, I figured out the question here from. So this was the question from. Can you ask what a Mercedes tech's next step in the company should be? That's what Merck's was.
Next step in the become a shop foreman, where you can cherry pick your jobs. Honestly, just learn how to fuck the dog and bang the clock as hard as you can. So your service advisors are always giving you the cherry jobs, the 27-hour payouts for 4-hour works.
Yeah.
Because like I used to have this tech, Noel. He was this fucking Spanish kid. He used to have long hair, and I used to fuck with him so bad. But he was cool. Him and his brother were like Porsche. His brother was a Porsche tech. He was a Mercedes tech. But he would get all like the cherry picked jobs. So really, all you can do is just kind of be slimy inside the doors, like, just quiet about it. Like, nah, Noel's always got the good jobs, like where you could drop, not like a diagnostic job where you have to drop it. Like it makes a rattle, like nothing like that. More like it needs a CV boot or fucking front, whatever pays the highest. The cherry pick jobs,
Yeah.
you pick that, and then if you want to
Basically the one.
I don't even think that's the word.
Yeah, that's not even the job. Do you care about? Do you like follow the AI stuff at all?
A little bit. I downloaded ChatGPT tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Like literally tomorrow morning. But it's big. It's really big. We just started using it like a lot. Kind of.
What do you guys use it for?
That video I just made like 2 days ago, I made that with AI. That one about like doing the packet EO.
Oh yeah.
Like you can like digitally overlay anything. So I'm gonna be putting my stand-up out as Amy Schumer probably.
Nice.
I'm gonna be doing like a special as Chris Rock or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's the way to do it.
Like literally.
Yeah. This is actually a question for Anton. Riverside, California, good for rentals. He's looking at some out there.
Rentals, yeah, never buy it. That's the most volatile market in the world. They overbuild out there. It's always like the victim there. The Riverside tracks with Las Vegas and Arizona. They're like one of those like large overbuilt into the middle of nowhere California. Who gives a fuck? California, still not cheap, still expensive. I don't get it. I don't dig it. I mean, I don't like the job that you'd get. I feel like you could just pay, if you want to pay stupid rent, if you want to pay $2,800 to live in a little Spanish ranch, why don't you just move to Culver City and get a job in LA and make more money?
Yeah, but I guess I guess the taxes there are the same because at least Vegas has like pretty favorable taxes, right?
I think you can. I think people are so stupid that like the gambling has set in so deep that Vegas isn't going anywhere. But like middle of the road California isn't something to aspire to. It's sort of like third generation Mexican suburbs only, which is cool and all that. But I don't see the value. The prices are so expensive. Like 900,000, and the guys who are flipping out there are all like that Tariq Al Musa guy. Like, so they're all like pro level, Chevy Avalanche driving, not Chevy, like Chevy High Country driving, like professional flippers. So the competition is fierce, and I don't want to compete with a bunch of fucking retard solar panel salesmen.
Right.
Mm.
All right. 1 second here. Let's take another call. We got a bunch of calls here. Phone lines are open, everybody. 1-888-949-2969. Let's go to Billy from Philly.
Hell yeah.
Billy from Philly. What's up, dog?
What's up, Danny boy?
How you doing, man?
Oh, peachy. Hey, just touch base with Canada. We're never getting Canada. That belongs to the crown, just like Australia. Whatever the king says goes. So I don't think they're ever going to touch.
I mean,
anything
we're pretty like
Canada.
arm's length with the monarchy now, though. They don't really. It's kind of more ceremonial. They couldn't really have a say in it. Like they couldn't if there was a referendum in Canada to leave, the British couldn't do anything. Plus, England's fucked on its own. They have their own problems. Last thing it would care about is losing Canada.
You think so? You don't think that King Charles will put his foot down? I mean, he's all over your money, like you said. I mean, they're pretty much own that shit.
We'll have new money. It's called the greenback. That'll be problem solved right there.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Hey, one other thing. Did you hear Kurt Metzger's explanation on the tinfoil hat, why it's called tinfoil hat?
I saw that, yeah. It was like some guy was actually wearing a tinfoil hat or something. Like, because what was he worried about?
He worked for Polaroid, and they put a Neuralink transmitter type deal in his brain, I don't know, like 20 or 30 years ago. And the microwaves that were activating it were giving him such bad headaches. He was putting a trash can over his head. Then they wound up giving him tinfoil to block these microwaves from getting to his brain that caused him this panic. So it's like this CIA gave him this thing and then made the name to make fun of everybody else about it from an actual, deformity they gave this guy.
Are you a big conspiracy guy, Nick?
Yeah, oh yeah. I like that.
Yeah. You know that shit?
I like that right there. That's that's like a gaslighting girlfriend.
Oh.
The CIA was just playing games on.
I mean, the CIA likes to just joke around, you know?
Yeah, they're just big jokers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're just good. I mean, literally, they are. They'll do that shit where they're like, "Happy MLK Day, everybody! What a patriot!" Like, didn't you guys like kill him?
Yeah, wasn't he? Didn't you stuff a gay orgy? Didn't you stuff a bunch of hot hunky guys in a room with him and make them fuck?
Yeah, and then you killed him, and then you're like, "Hey, just wanted to tweet how much we love MLK." You're like, "That's funny."
Yeah, like war on drugs, and they're like giving everybody acid and LSD and like distributing it through Venice the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. You got any questions for Nick there, Bill?
No, I'm not. I'm broke as a joke, so I'd like to get into real estate in North Carolina. I'm in Charlotte currently, but no.
What do you think of Charlotte? What do you think of North Carolina? North Carolina, dude, I was in Raleigh doing shows there at Good Nights.
I've never been.
Dude, it's kind of like nice.
Good.
It's like it has that right like latitude where the weather is pretty good.
Carolina is the new Florida for people up here. Like if you live like where I live, like all the snowbird people are like, "Yo, Carolina," and I'm like, I got to see more of it, but I don't disagree with you because Raleigh and Charlotte and Raleigh are like they do big banking. Bank of America's got a big hub in Charlotte, but they also cut jobs like ruthlessly. They're like, "Get out of here, you fucking hick! Time to go back to the fucking making $2 houses." And they're like, all right. Sorry, I want to be a banker for a couple of months.
I think it used to be cheap like 10 or 20 years ago, but now it's like everything is.
Yeah, I think it's still pretty cheap though.
Yeah, Chicago. I see like I follow like some you see some like real estate pages or whatever on Instagram. People post the shit you can get in Chicago.
Yeah,
it's crazy what you can get in Chicago for like reasonable amount of money.
I would rather die than live in Chicago.
Me too, but
I don't get it. Everybody was like, Chicago's such a great city. I went there. We got a gun pulled on us. We were saying it was so hood. I was like, this isn't even funny at all. I was like at a coffee shop talking to like a woman, like your wife. And I was like, how the fuck do you live in this place? And she's like, South Loop, so nice. I'm like, you look like I would be scared that my wife is going to get hit over the head with a fucking wrench all day and just absolutely pummeled.
Yeah. Is there? It seems like if the rents are cheap, there's a reason for it.
Yeah, right. If it's nice and the rent's cheap and it's a major metro, like get ready for something like we were getting like barrage to sign like a like abortion clinic papers like 9 times. I'm like, get away from me, dude. Like this is a job out here. Like it was so like community organizer like driven.
Yeah. Well, that's because that's where Obama's from.
It real honestly, bro. It felt like, and I don't even give a shit about this, but it's weird when like you're like, oh shit, this is like the land Obama built. So everybody's just like Lauryn Hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I mean, it's kind of like Toronto. Have you ever been to Toronto?
No.
It's kind of Chicago. Kind of is. I always say because people are like, oh, Toronto's like New York City. I'm like, no, it's nothing like New York City. It's like Brooklyn or Chicago. Kind of.
Yeah. Pass. Yeah. I've heard that about Toronto. I've heard Toronto's like a say anything, go to jail kind of city. But
yeah, I mean the funny thing is people in Toronto go, it's like New York City, and then you move to New York City, and you're like, oh no, it's nothing like New York City.
It's probably cleaner, right?
It's way cleaner. Yeah, it's way cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, I Montreal is like a fucking jewel.
Montreal's the best.
Where like is that guy Bernier a Hell's Angel?
Who's that? No, the politician.
Yeah.
No, he's not a Hell's Angel. He's just like this. Super. He used to be like normal right wing, and then now he just went like so far right where he's literally further right than Trump. It's like deport every brown person. He tweets like pretty crazy shit for a guy who's trying to be like the head of a political party.
Fuck yeah! I wish the Hells Angels would step it up and I
mean, they're still around. Them and the Italian mob. Like the Italian mob's like the last place they're really active in North America is Montreal.
Looks like Canadians got to start joining. Hey, I think we should push for high mafia numbers. I know the mafia is like this little thing of ours and all these like little hand signals, but the Italians should be like, hey, you know what we need, Angelo? 700,000 fucking mob members.
Not enough Italians anymore, dude. The fucking Italians are going by the wayside in terms of minorities. Anything else there, Billy?
That's it, dude.
Cool. Thanks, buddy. Billy from
Adios.
What about Philly?
Man. Philly's on the come up.
Philly is. I mean,
Philly's
people like
on the good list.
When you find out how I didn't realize before I moved here how close Philly is to New York City. Like Philly's basically like a suburb of New York City. Like it's not that much further than Westchester.
You can go there. Anytime like you hear like a Kensington style story or like a, you should always like run toward that. Like when I heard Kensington and I saw the videos, I was like, go buy that. Go if you're from Philly, go there and buy it and let crackheads fuck each other for another 7 months. But just price strike the 35,000 while you're showing it. And when a realtor's like, there it is right over there, and there's like a barrel fire and two, you buy it, you insure it, wait for the like politicians will lose their jobs if those things grow.
Yeah.
So you price strike it and then you wait for it to calm down. There was this kid showing me something in Kensington, Philly. He's like, I'm gonna buy this for 30 grand. I go buy that right now. And I saw him again. He was like, dude, I bought one. He's like, it's worth like 65. I could just flip the paper. I was like, flip the paper or keep it. Please keep it if you can afford to.
Yeah, like what do you do with those? Like, you see, I remember I went to Baltimore recently. I took the Amtrak, and the Amtrak goes through like literally the wire, like that shit.
It's the wire. Yeah, it never came back.
And whenever I go through an area like that, I actually will go on Zillow because I'm just like, what does something like this cost? For these like row houses, and they're like 70 or like 80 grand.
Yeah,
but I'm just like, what do you do with
Baltimore's not coming back? Yeah, those you keep in your rent too. But the problem is like Baltimore had like the Atlanta thing where it had hype, and then they kind of let like a community or like they were like painting tires for playgrounds and painting them like rainbow colors and shit, and not like because of the armies, but it never came back. And I think Philly's too big. Philly's got a Federal Reserve. Philly's like the fourth biggest city in the country, or third, maybe even be third.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, I think Houston's big.
Houston's pretty big.
They can't go away. You know what I mean? Like Baltimore can not go away, but Baltimore can live in the the minutia.
Yeah.
Philly can't. So I was like right now, I told Shane Gillis, I was like, Shane, you should spend as much money as possible in Philadelphia. Like go buy like the $8 million one. It'll be like a $25 million one in like 10 years from now.
Yeah. I was shocked. Remember when Kevin Spacey like recently came back and he was saying how he was bankrupt, and he was like, he owned some big place. He lived in Baltimore. I was like, what the fuck? Why did Kevin Spacey live in Baltimore? Yeah.
Oh, he probably lived near Johns Hopkins. It's like a wicked nice area. There's nice shit in Baltimore. Nice stuff though.
Yeah. I imagine it's one of those things where like certain areas are nice. All right. Producer, Mark wants to ask you actually something. One sec here.
Am I unmuted? Yo.
You are unmuted. What's up, Mark? Producer Mark, everybody.
So I know you're a big New England guy. I love that. I'm from Connecticut. Nick, what are your thoughts on Bernie Sanders' socialist Burlington, Vermont? Because I heard that it's fucking chaos up there.
It's not good in Burlington. I went up there. I sold Burton snowboards a bunch of rugs like years ago when I needed the money. I sold them like a pallet of rugs, and I needed the money so bad I hand delivered them. And I went up there, and they were like, I never knew homeless people went to the snow. I always thought
that's
you were
so
like,
crazy. Like in Canada, when you're homeless, you have to be in the snow. There's nowhere to avoid it. Here, like I don't even understand why there's homeless people in New York. You're like, why aren't you all in Venice or Florida?
Yeah, exactly. Go to like the Alabama shores where you can like blend in. But they don't care. I mean, it's just like I love it here, but yeah, it's not too well. I mean, it's like going to like a Libby coffee shop city in like Lewiston, Maine or something like that. Like I come across them on the Antiques Trail every now and then. You'll run into a city where like, everything's like a cat hotel, and it's like little old ladies who are like staunch Democrats. And Burlington, Vermont has UVM. I feel like that's where this all came from, though. Like, if we're being honest, if we go back to like mid 90s, early second wave feminism and shit like that, like it started at UVM. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest with ourselves. It like hacky sack, frisbee, weed culture, Janine Garofalo, devil sticks.
Yeah,
like that was like. So
I mean, you know what band came from Burlington, Vermont? It's Fish. Fish.
Yeah, right.
You're like, it's all starting to kind of add up.
Yeah, dude. Crunchy socks and like Dreadlock Girl and like the band, like PCU the movie. Like that. I don't know. I feel like it started this. So it's all like second gen. Like these people are just really comfortable at like they're the masters of the knitting group and the book club and the canned good drive and They're probably doing 5 times the job that Obama did in Chicago, in Burlington.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
There's this guy who does like the YouTube channel where he goes from city to city, interviews people and whatnot. His name's Peter Santanella, and he's from Vermont. And he does, all sorts of hood videos and other things. But he did one on the hoods of Burlington, and within 3 days, it was taken down from YouTube. And now he has like an explanation as to why. And I think it was related to UVM, and some people over there didn't want people outside of Vermont seeing how bad it really is up there.
No shit. That's it's funny because Vermont, like in New England, Vermont's kind of a runt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like an uppity, broke. It's kind of like Connecticut. Where in Connecticut are you from?
I'm from the New Haven area.
All right, so I was just in Hartford, and I call that like the worst whites in the worst whites in the world live in New Haven and Hartford, because they're broke, but they talk like they're rich. And I'll tell you what you have next to you, and this I'll prove it to you. You have a town that's 2 towns over from you where people think their shit don't stink. And I don't know which one it is. Mine, it's Pomfret, Connecticut. My parents live in Putnam.
Okay.
And I'm like, motherfucker, this is a dump. This is a dump. It may say Connecticut. Your house is worth $312,000. I snorted Vicodin off a fucking 300-pound girl's fucking back because I was fucking her. And my house is worth way more than. Like, look at my fucking face. I have fetal alcohol syndrome because my mom drank. And my house is worth twice yours. You're not a fucking insurance maven. This isn't downtown. You're not in Greenwich. You're a fucking deadbeat. And Vermont is the same fucking thing. Like, it's the same thing. Like, you're not a skier. This isn't Aspen. You're a fucking crunchy, long-haired, pubic cat lady. Go fuck yourself. Like, your house is worth $81,000. You live in a fucking tin roof shithole.
It is so crazy you can get houses in America for $80,000.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
It's wild. But and you're not like you could be near a major metropolitan, like within an hour.
Yeah,
like a large city, and you can get a house for.
That's why I tell everybody get the fuck out of New York. I'm in New York in 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
I could be.
I don't think anywhere like Canada. If you want a house for $80,000, you have to literally be 6 hours from a city that's 60,000 people.
Really?
Yeah.
Farmland too, isn't it like a bad drive too?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's like you hit these pockets where there's just huge pockets where there's nothing, absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Like North Dakota.
Like North Dakota, yeah. But like even in like Toronto, like there's nothing. You can't be within 6 hours of Toronto and get a place that's less than like a couple $100,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The prices I see in Toronto are the prices I see in Canada in general. If it has a major metro clipped onto it, it's like the prices are. I'm like, bro, I don't know how much money you guys make out there, but I hope you're not a kid trying to like make this math. Like, you don't have enough money for this shit. I would just wait for it all to fall apart. But
yeah, I mean, people have been waiting on that for a while, and like it has not fucking budged.
It's apparently like shit doesn't move too quickly out there, huh?
It depends where. Like for like none of my hometown friends live in my hometown, not because they don't want to, just because they could not afford to live there. They all went like I grew up probably 45 minutes from Toronto, a suburb of this city called Burlington, actually, and it was just like a normal, like wasn't anything special. And then now it's like insane, and so they all moved. Some of them moved to like Niagara Falls because that place sucks. And or they just moved to these like weird cities that like used to be farms, like literally used to be only farmland 20 years ago. And
now they have
new
like
cities just
a Moe's or something like that, or a Target.
Yeah, kind of. Not even. No, they don't even have anything there, but they have something a half an hour drive away. And it's the only place you can get, like you can afford to live.
What about like the pretty shit and like Presque Isle, not Presque Isle, like Prince Edward Island and shit like that, and out like on the coast?
I mean, I don't know what prices are like out there, but it's like it's remote, man. It's really remote.
I know. Yeah, I just don't like people kind of chase that around here. Like in the States, like people go to Maine and like they go to remote, like kind of far, like 5 hours from here, like 6 hours from here, like way in the middle of fucking who gives a fuck nowhere.
But like if you're there, like how far is like the closest international airport?
4 hours.
4 hours, yeah. Because like I know people like my friends from home who they just moved somewhere affordable and they're 3 hours from an international airport, but they still pay still $500,000 for a house.
Yeah, exactly. Like an international airport means nothing to me. Like I don't give a flying fuck about an international airport.
Yeah, I'm just saying if they want to go somewhere.
You go on nice trips. I go to fucking I like to go on driving vacations.
Yeah, no, I like that shit, dude. I drove from fucking Colorado to Vegas. It was like the nicest drive.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I've done that one.
It was sick. All right, Mark, I'm gonna let you go. I gotta take some calls here. Mark, everybody.
That's funny though that it's funny that Bernie's covering them up. UVM. That's probably like that's probably honestly the brain, like the brain of the Chicago organization. If I had to be pragmatic about it.
Yeah. By the way, you were talking about rugs or whatever. How liquid is the rug market?
Hello?
You there?
I lost you. You there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Oh, I muted you. You there?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on?
Hold on.
Hold on. Did I? No, I didn't unmute. Oh, I muted. Oh, I'm retarded. I muted myself. I'm stupid. Sorry. How liquid is the rug market? Can you hear me? What's going on here? What is happening? Oh no! What the fuck? Sorry.
There we go. It's me.
There we go. My bad. No, that was my bad. I was gonna say. Yeah, how liquid is the rug market?
The stuff that I buy is pretty locked up. Like I have these like weird dealers that they like perfect. They're called academic rugs. So like they like them in like collector 9.9 condition. And my people are like, no. And the price market gets severely different from like,
it's like comic books or something.
Yeah, it's just like that.
And like, do people take those rugs and they like actually put them down and they walk on them and just use them, or do people like store them?
No, they fucking like whack off over them. Like I have a few. I mean, I'll get like 5% of my typical offering is like a 9.5 or above condition, but I don't want to strap people with little rugs for $5,000. Like it's just it's like it's irresponsible. It's obnoxious. It's pretentious. But if you want something like I don't know, I'll just try to show you something like something for like 35,000. That some dickhead would be like, this is 35,000. Like I can get it for you for like $5 to $7,000.
Wow, I'm sure people in New York eat that shit up.
Oh, I sell to all I sell to is rich women in the Carolinas and Florida. That's all I sell to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they good stores of value?
Yeah. I've done. I mean, I have like at any given time, I'll have like $250,000 locked up in rugs.
Yeah.
But
like they hold their value. Like if you buy a rug and 20 years from now, it's like kind of guaranteed to appreciate. If you don't fuck it up.
Not really that. People say that. That's what like rug guys would be like. Well, it's just gonna go up 5% a year. So you buy it now from me for $4,000, and it just like no, that's not true. But here's what you do have: the reality. The truth is, you buy a rug for like $4,000, it's always worth $3,000. Like whereas nothing in the world is like you buy a rug from like Restoration Hardware for $2,700. You probably have one or $4,000 in your bedroom or in your living room. That thing, I wouldn't give you $100 for that.
Right. Those are just kind of...
Those they're just trends. And it's nothing personal. It's just those trendy rugs from like TK Maxx, Canadian, or TJ, or a Home Goods or something like that. They're made to be trendy. So the antique ones that I buy, pre-1920 vegetable dyes, the real, there's a finite supply of them. So if you can get them, so I try to buy them pretty heavy. I buy a lot. Like I made a little bit of money doing stand up, so I spent a fucking teacher salary in 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't mind. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
it never scared me.
I mean, you also know what you're doing, so it's like you're probably not at risk of getting hosed, right?
Yeah, no, and I don't mind. Like I tell people, like if you buy something from me, like I'll get you out of it. Like I'm not worried about it. I sell it pretty wholesale. I don't mark it up like a retard, so I'm not like, oh, I don't want it back.
Yeah, it's not like jewelry.
Right.
Where you try and go sell it back. All right, let's take another call here. We're gonna let you go in a few minutes. Thanks again for coming on, buddy.
No, anytime, buddy.
Okay, we got our favorite heroin user.
Hell yeah,
Chris on the phone here. Chris, how's it going, buddy?
What's the word? What's the good word, Danny? Am I on Low Value Mail with Danny Polishuk?
You are, and Nick Rochefort.
Hell yeah, it's awesome. I'm a big fan of Nick, big fan of MDE, and super glad to be a guest this evening.
How you been?
I tell you what, Danny, that was a funny tweet you put out earlier. I appreciated your take on no one stopped to consider how much this trade war is going to hurt fentanyl users.
I have a question, actually.
That was funny.
So do you use fentanyl? Have you ever taken it?
I'm a fentanyl hater. I don't like
Right.
fentanyl.
I remember you actually saying
a
that.
number of reasons. It doesn't have the long legs that heroin provides. The withdrawal is much harsher and comes on even faster than H withdrawals. And you don't get as euphoric of a nod. It just knocks you out. You've seen the people on Kensington and Philly and stuff. That's not enjoyable, that zombie mode they're in. And that's all Fent does.
Yeah, because I was actually looking, because I was talking about it, because obviously like fentanyl is a big part of this trade war stuff. And then I was looking up the stats, and heroin overdoses in America are actually at like a 25-year low right now. So
Yeah,
people are
you
just
really got to try to kill yourself with H. I mean, you got to be doing Kurt Cobain style doses to overdose just H today, as it's so cut to shit by the time it gets to the user that H only ODs, or at least what the user believes is H only, are rather rare.
Yeah. And so I have a question, because I was talking about this, and I was wondering if I was just talking shit, but should the price of fentanyl triple due to like all this stuff that's going on? People are just going to buy it, right? Like you're not stopping using these drugs just because the price goes up, I imagine.
Yeah, so no, I heard your discussion on this point earlier. Like, the answer is yes, of course, opioid users in particular are going to keep getting high, and they're not going to switch to a different drug of choice. But what's interesting is that, like, through all of the, inflationary pressures we've seen on different markets going back decades, the prices of drugs remain rather constant. That helps because there's a consistent supply from Latin America. But you just really don't see inflation like that in the global drug trade, which is awesome for the user. And,
how much is
like,
a gram
sort of-
is a gram of heroin?
A gram of black tar heroin in the American Southwest goes for like $50.
$50. And how much was it like 10 years ago? Just $50?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and that's like that's the equivalent of like a gram of Coke, which for a single user is like a night. I mean, someone with the tolerance, that is. So yeah, it's interesting. But what's so retarded, of course, Danny, is none of the fent comes from Canada. That's so silly.
Yeah. It all I mean, the precursors all come from China. I mean, they did just bust like a massive fentanyl lab in Vancouver, Western Canada, like huge.
But that probably had to come from China, right? Wouldn't it?
The precursors. It's just like the precursors come from these like actual like above board chemical companies. I don't think the precursors are illegal per se. You might have to have like a special permit to get them, but they're not like a controlled substance. But then they turn them into one. So similar to like amphetamines, how they can be like, how like you can't buy
like Sudafed meth.
Sudafed, exactly. Like Sudafed's not a controlled substance, but if you try and go buy a bunch of it, at least in America, that was always the weird thing, because I would come down to America from Canada and I have pet allergies, and like you can just buy as much Claritin as you want in Canada. They don't give you a hard time. And then you come down to the States and they're like, you need to show ID, and it's all locked up. And
yeah, there are actual sales floors in China where they just sell fentanyl precursors, with like real websites and everything on the ClearNet, that is. And those just get shipped down to Mexico, where it's made in labs and smuggled into America, of course. But
Can you write a book on heroin, man?
What's that?
You should write a book on heroin. You're the smartest heroin user I ever talked to in my life.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Chris is the man.
I love calling into Low Value Mail with Danny. And it's funny, Danny. So I'm not even a basketball guy. I watch hockey. But today in Dallas,
Oh, dude,
I mean, it's a sad day.
Dude, have you seen the conspiracies around the Luka Doncic trade?
So that's what I was calling to ask you about because, of course, the owners are the Adelson family.
Yeah, Sheldon Adelson bought the Mavs from Mark. From Mark Cuban.
Yeah, so
and no, it's a casino thing.
It was a 69% controlling share, valued at $3.9 billion, and they're the owners of the Sands Casino Group.
Yeah.
And they've been pushing really hard for sports betting legalization in Texas and trying to open up a casino arena where the future Mavs would play. So yeah, there's all sorts of conspiracies flying around, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that because
yeah. So for people who aren't basketball
this
fans,
morning,
dude, I was at the Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida, like on Saturday night, and literally all of a sudden, everybody in the casino just starts going crazy. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And everybody starts yelling. They're like, they traded Luka Doncic. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Like, I was literally like, what do you mean they traded him? Like, how's that even possible? But then the conspiracy theory. So Sheldon Adelson has been trying to get this casino license to build a casino in Austin, but also Dallas. And the local government's like basically not playing ball. So then now he's basically trying to destroy the team so he can move it to Vegas because they were in the NBA finals last year. So you could never move a team that's successful. Like it has to be a team that's like in the dumps and attendance is getting killed and all this stuff. So their theory is he's sabotaging the team so that he can eventually move it to Vegas, which is probably the best theory.
I thought Mark Cuban would divorce his wife before he traded Luka Doncic.
He doesn't own the team anymore. He sold it to Sheldon Adelson.
He sold 40% of it.
Or what he sold like
61%.
Or so yeah, something big. So, but he doesn't run it anymore. Dude, they didn't shop him at all. Like they did this. Like I saw BJ Armstrong, former Chicago Bull, basically saying like this was like a deal between two owners. Like it wasn't even the GMs. None of the front staff was involved. It was.
Do you think it's like a bread and circus thing for LA?
I mean,
like Adelson was like, look, I'll play ball, I'll give you my best thing, but when it comes time for the rebuild fire money and the Olympic money, I want some too.
Maybe. I mean, the thing is like everybody thinks NBA owners or like owners in sports are, adversaries, but no, they all own a piece of this giant business.
Yeah.
So
everybody gets a run.
Right. So if the Lakers are, the Lakers could single-handedly make the value of every other team go up, but you still wouldn't trade Luka Doncic just for that reason. Like this is, I mean, it doesn't make sense unless he has some injury that nobody knows about. Like
maybe David Silver's face was the reason. the NBA commissioner.
Yeah, the bald freak.
Yeah.
That's right, cool.
He's a ghoul.
Dude, people in Dallas are so fucking mad, man.
Today I was listening to local sports talk radio, and man, it sounded like a thinly veiled Louis Farrakhan speech. Just they were dog whistling without knowing they were dog whistling, but they were like these greedy rich casino owners who have no attachment to the Dallas culture are demoralizing locals. They're like these penny pinchers won't pay a supermax contract for a superstar player. They're calling this like the worst trade of all time.
Yeah, sorry. Someone said in the super chat, Sheldon Adelson died. It's his wife who's running this.
It's his wife. Yeah,
his wife, Miriam. His wife. Which that would be such a chick thing to do. Just fucking trade away Luka Doncic for nothing.
Yeah, she's like that
white boy balling.
Major League 2.
Yeah. Also, the Lakers are owned by a chick too. So it's like these two chicks are just.
Luka represented like white excellence. I mean, he's talked about like
white
the top
European
5
excellence
player of all time.
I don't know about top 5 player of. I don't know about top 5 player of all time. He could be. I mean, he could blow out his knee and be a Yao Ming or something where you just like he had a good run while he was still around. But no, that trade was insane. I could not believe it.
Yeah.
I'd be so pissed if I was.
LeBron was like, "Listen, if you don't get me some players here, I'm gonna like. I know you guys know I drank cum and
adrenochrome,
Yeah, I drank
It's
adrenochrome. I wore the
interesting.
maid's outfit at the Diddy parties. But listen, I have pictures of David Silver getting a spike kicked up his ass by Justin Bieber. So you guys better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw David Silver hanging outside a daycare with a bib and a bottle of A1 sauce. That dude is up to no good.
He's not doing anything good, dude.
No.
Yeah, it just shines a spotlight on it at a time when, like, especially with the NFL playoffs going on, like these leagues have explicitly partnered up with $20 billion sports books. You know,
Yeah.
sports gambling and the leagues like are hardly separable at this point anymore. And
That's true.
I don't know if people are alleging like the Donaghy days of like explicit ref cheating, but there's an argument that the thumbs are on the scale of these leagues for sure now.
I mean, dude, they're sports entertainment. Like the NFL specifically, like changed. I don't know, like in their articles, like in corporation articles or whatever, where they're like, we're sports entertainment, and that essentially allows them to kind of like fix things without getting in legal trouble.
When Dave Portnoy was saying he was going to buy a quarterback from Michigan, and now that they're privatizing the sports teams for they're selling basically the programs for the like NFL Michigan college football program is going to be for sale.
Yeah.
That is going to change everything. Like, and I played football. I really like the NFL, but the NFL is not the same. I mean, the refs, the fix is in. I think there was one. I think it was Devontae Adams' total yards in the beginning of the year. He missed it by like a half a yard. The handicapping is so good, it's like infuriating. It's like,
yeah.
I can't believe.
I mean, you can't. Yeah, like you can't. That's the craziest part about like the FanDuels and the DraftKings is if you win, they ban you.
Yeah.
Like so. That's the craziest part is like if you're actually doing even remotely well, they just ban you. So then it makes it, unless you live in Vegas somewhere that has like a crazy sports book, and the sports books will ban you too. Like they don't want action from winning bettors.
They want guys like me who have no idea how to bet, and they're just like, yeah, I'll parlay. They'll play fucking Rihanna first quarter, and I'm like, well, I don't know, I lost my money. Whatever, let's move on.
Yeah, let's do a 14-team parlay. I'm sure one of these will hit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saw a stat. It said Mahomes in games that are decided by a one-score game, he's 16 in the last 16 games. Which, assuming those were a coin flip, the chance of that happening, it's like 0.002%. And when you see stuff like that, it's just hard not to buy into the argument a little bit. That it seems like the thumbs are on the scale as far as refereeing is concerned.
I mean, I got kind of
partnership with these sports books.
I got kind of clowned for tweeting this, but after the last fucking Chiefs game, the Chiefs-Bills game, I was like, the NHL is like the best sport. Everybody's like, you're Canadian, and you would say that, but I'm like, there's no like the refs cannot decide shit in the NHL. The best they can do is give a penalty, take a guy off the ice for 2 minutes, but like they don't do shit like, it's not like basketball where they can just give fouls or take away fouls. Like, and in the playoffs, they never even blow the whistle. So
viewership's down, man. I mean, NBA viewership's down, and Super Bowl ticket prices have just plummeted.
I mean, this is such a boring. Well, you just assume the Chiefs are just gonna win. It's like, why even fucking watch it?
I know. I gotta watch it because
yeah. All right, one quick thing. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to update you. I told you recently I wanted to scam my drug dealer so I couldn't go back to him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about pulling the final, I think about it reporting him to ICE. You get $750. This way would ensure I couldn't re-up. I've burned every other dealer in my phone.
I don't know if you're saying that because you watched the sketch I made, because I made this sketch about this guy who turns in all these people to ICE. He has a little side business. And it got like 200,000 views on YouTube, but it's like a fake like local news story, and literally I don't know, half the people are like, "Is this real? Can you really?" But they don't actually give $750. I think they used to do that, but you can't do that. But you could just turn him into ICE for love of the game, just because you're a patriot.
One question?
Yeah,
I just want to hear Nick, when Alex Schultz was doing his vanilla and performance at clubs in like Atlanta, what was the reaction like from the club staff? And that's it. Thanks for taking my call, Danny.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Cool. It was good. No, I mean, especially in Atlanta, we were in like the blackest club in Atlanta, and they're like, "Y'all motherfuckers are wild as hell," and it was, I mean, look, tickets sell, and they don't care. That's the truth.
Right.
You know,
They're
you
not
think
like trying to do an HR thing.
they're just not. I mean, those days are over, and it's just like, no. I mean, some people get a little miffed, a couple of waitresses here and there, but nothing overall. Nothing. It was great.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
funny.
The waitresses are pretty replaceable. All right, dude. We're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna let you go. But thank you again for coming on, dude. You're the fucking
You're the
man.
best, buddy.
Where can people know where to find you? But Instagram,
Yeah, Scuff Realtor tomorrow night. Live,
Scuff Realtor
YouTube,
tomorrow night,
same
7
next
p.m.
clips. We got 7 p.m. live like we always are. Instagram, Nick Rochefort and Shamonic's house.
Yeah,
And,
I was actually always wondering because I saw your the Shamonics thing, and then I saw something on the place in Switzerland, Chamonix or whatever, and then I was like, surely you can't call it Chamonix. I was like, Shamonic sounds way better.
It's the fucking color white of this fucking BMW that I bought back in the day, and it just looked cool on paper.
Yeah,
Then
but I mean, like Shamonics actually sounds cool, but I'm like, you're not calling Chamonix.
Chamonix, but like it's like rugs. Like you look at rugs and be like, is this a Jerez? Like I used to have people like Italian people trying to order, like we're trying to speak Persian and Farsi and shit like that. I'm like, just say it however you want. I don't give a shit. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's just bastardization.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Man.
Nick Rochefort, everybody. Check him out. Go see him live on tour. You guys got some dates coming up?
Yeah, I got some dates. Let's see, Lafayette, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, and New Orleans next Sunday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or something like that.
You gonna be at Skankfest this year?
Yeah,
dude. I've never been in New Orleans either.
Me neither. I'm going next Wednesday for the first time. I can't wait to go to this fucking
I was
show.
supposed to go during Jazz Fest 2020, and then they shut it down because of that China virus.
Yeah, fucking unreal. But no, I just got my letter I think yesterday or this morning. So
yeah, me too.
I'll see you, buddy.
Yeah, dog. Nick Rochefort, everybody.
Thank you, man.
Thanks,
See you well.
Have a good one.
See you, bye.
All right. Hold on a second. So, where are we at? Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out something here. We are at 16 out of 20 on the goal, but you know what? I'm a good guy, so we're just going to do an extra half an hour because I saw a bunch of people give $4.99 super chats, which would count if they were 1 cent higher. So let's fucking do it. Another 30 minutes of the show, and I'm going to give one super chatter away a 6-month Patreon membership at the end. Let's take some calls. We're going to take some more calls. Phone lines are open, 1-888-949-2969. We're going into overtime. Open lines, whatever you want to talk about. Shout out to Heroin Chris. Hello, Jared.
How you doing, Dan?
What's up, man?
Another beautiful day, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was this morning when I was in Florida. I got to fucking New York, and it was hell on earth. But... yeah,
you get where you're going, and it's a little bit unexpected.
I can't complain. I chose to live here, but goddamn, is Florida nice, man. All the people who talk shit about Florida.
I think Florida's fantastic. There's supposed to be good, really good fishing, no?
Yeah, they got good, dude. They got good everything there. They honestly, and it's so funny. Some people complain. They're like, "Oh, it's expensive here," and you're like, "Not compared to New York."
Well, I think you're making good decisions. There's a lot of Jews down there, so like you're just.
I mean, honestly, a little too many, if you ask me. A little too many for my liking.
You'll be fine.
The thing is, I don't mind Jews individually, but when you put like a ton of them together at once, it gets
a little weird. Yeah.
It gets a little annoying.
Yeah. For you, you want to spread out, then all of a sudden you're like, where am I right now? Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. What's up, Jared, though? What are you going to talk about, man?
So today I wanted to pick up on one of the ones that we couldn't pick up on last time. It was one of those blood libels. It was It was Andre Yushinsky. So first time I ever talked, it was Mzitz Papa, the blood-sucking penis ritual. Second time was Jew tunnels. Third time was
how much, Jared? How much time?
Yes, sir?
Like, would you say that investigating Jews is one of your main hobbies?
My expertise. Yes, sir. I love it. I think it's important.
How much time do you spend on researching?
Well, recently. Well, so what I could say is I first read a book when I was 18 called The Biggest Secret by David Icke.
Yeah. How old are you now?
Just, like
just sort of frame of reference here.
I'm 39.
39. So 21 years ago. So have you been on this path for the last 21 years?
Yeah. I've been doing this for a long time.
You've been doing this for a long time. And what is your goal exactly? If you don't mind me asking.
Just to let people know that like people are like dipping like blood and matzah. And,
like I can tell you, man, I've been around Jews my whole life. Nobody's dipping blood matzah into blood. Like zero people.
I'll share a video if you can allow me to like DM you something, but
yes.
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, send it over.
Okay.
Yeah,
but,
go ahead.
Today is about Andrei Yushensky. Okay. So if you look on Google, you're gonna get like a Bellis Mendheim or something along that. What's the gentleman's name? So if you just type in Andrei Yushensky, you're gonna get another guy.
Okay.
You're gonna get his Wikipedia. But if you go on Yandex, which is another,
I don't use. That's not my search engine of choice. Is Yandex.
Yandex is also made by Jews, so it's not bad.
It's the Russian search engine, right?
Correct, but also made by a Jew, Roman Abramovich, the one who owned
the guy who owned Chelsea, made Yandex.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I know everything. I'm just kidding. Let's go.
Yeah.
So Andre was.
It says here, I Googled it, the founders, it says not Roman Abramovich. It says Arkady Volos, Ilya Segalovich, and Elena something, Kolmonovskaya.
Yeah, see, again, you're not using the right sources, man.
Okay.
Gotta get in there, Gotta dig.
So Wikipedia.
We're talking about Andrei Yushensky, Andre.
Yeah.
And his last name is Yushchinskyi. That's one of the ways to find it. Okay.
Andrei Yushensky? I don't know. Nothing really comes up here.
In 1911, Ukraine, Russia.
Yeah.
Just type in Ukraine, Russia, 1911. So this child, his body found in a cave. Okay. So, eventually, the gentleman who was accused of the event was not charged. After, like, he was charged, but he was not, like, he was acquitted. But
so you're saying the system works.
Well, how about the 3 children that were poisoned, and 2 of them who died, and 1 who survived? Okay, let's get into that.
Okay. I don't have a ton of time for this, so you got to make it a little quick because I got a bunch of people waiting.
Okay, I'm gonna do a good job. So so there was Andrei Yushensky, whose body was found in a semi-seated position with his hand tied behind his back, with the shirt and his underwear and 1 sock, and coroners found 47 puncture wounds in his body, and they were in his temple, all over his body. There's pictures that you could find. They formed what looks like the Big Dipper, and other. They did what's known as it's bloodletting. So what they do is they take the blood out, and then so there were 3 people who saw it: Valdia, Xenia, and Yumilia. And then
do you have a girlfriend or a wife or anything?
Is that cool?
No, yeah. No, I'm saying, do you have? Is there a Mrs. Jared?
There is no Mrs. Jared, sir.
Okay, checks out. Go ahead.
So Menahem Mendel Bellis worked as a foreman in the brick factory where the kid was taken.
Okay.
And he was eventually arrested. The local newspaper began writing articles implicating the gentleman's mother.
And this was 110 years ago.
Oh yeah, no, it's a very, very famous event because what happened was, like, there was a major cover-up, and it was right before the Bolshevik Revolution. And some people say that it was one of the things that precipitated the Bolshevik Revolution, because the Bolshevik Revolution was Jews, and 70% of the people that were involved in the Bolshevik government over the years, and the 40 million Christians that were killed in Ukraine and across Russia during the starvation.
Okay, you got to be quick with this. I have like 2 minutes for you.
Okay,
I got so many people waiting.
I got you. So I want to get back to Yashinsky. So Andre's mother, the editor, bribed police chief, Miss Chicks, who arrested her. She was not allowed to leave prison to attend her son's funeral. Local police finally arrested the guy on July 22nd. Police Chief Mishachuk was charged with accepting bribes and imprisoned. Inspector Krasiowski took over the investigation. Inspector Krasiowski visited the three children who witnessed the events and brought them some gifts, cakes. Two of them, Xenia and Valia, died soon after.
You're saying that they were poisoned?
Yeah, I mean, hold on, let's go on further. The children's mother, Mrs. Shabanska, was invited to meet to a hotel where she was received by a Jewish gentleman. Later, a Belarus defender who offered her 40,000 rubles if she agreed to plead guilty to the death. She did not accept. So if you just go on further, you'll find that on September 14th, Russian Prime Minister Stolypin attempted a performance at the Kiev house at the time of the act. Another Jewish gentleman shot him twice, killing him 2 days later. So there were people. The trial of Belius began on September 25th, 11 days after the fatal attack, which is bound to influence, what event it became. So if you want to look at I could look at the judge. Tell me what happened. What you know about the case, daughter Ludmila? Mom went to the market. Xenia, Valia and I were sleeping. We heard someone calling from the street. It was Andre, who was Xenia to accompany him. We got dressed, closed the door, and went to play in the clay mine. There were more children. Then Mendel Bellis came running after us. We escaped, but he caught Xenia and Andre. Xenia let go, but Andre couldn't. Mendel and another Jew took him by the hand. It was
all right. This doesn't seem like this is good. This doesn't seem like this is going to end. But
these were the court. This is what happened.
No, Jared, I get what you're saying. I just don't have time. This seems like this is a longer thing than this. But you can call in on the Bathhouse. Let's hear more of this tomorrow night, 9:00 on the Bathhouse. Because I think most people are pretty lost, to be honest, myself included. But call in another time. Finish this up. I appreciate you, Jared. All right, Jared, everybody. I don't know what that was. I mean, it was entertaining for a bit. Reminded me of like this Norm Macdonald joke, actually, a little bit. All right, let's take some more calls. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL, win $500. Hello, you're on the Low Value Mail. I almost said the Bathhouse. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail.
Hey, am I on?
You are on. Thank you for sitting tight and waiting. Who am I speaking with?
This is Nathan. I'm originally from Yellowknife, the true Great White North.
Yellowknife. Wow. I've always wanted to go there.
Hey, it's a beautiful place. If you don't mind the bugs, it's you can go in the summertime, but it's great for the northern lights and everything. But yeah, man, long time listener, first time caller.
Where do you live now?
Anyway, just in Vernon, BC. It's actually pretty nice
Vernon.
here,
I've heard of Vernon.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yep.
So, I understand you don't have much time. I do appreciate you sticking around for an extra half hour. I actually just want to get your opinion on what do you think about like decentralization, centralization, and even like if Canada were to become the 51st state.
Canada will never be the 51st state. That'll never happen. It doesn't make any sense for so many reasons. Like Canada's
would you support the idea
of being a 51st state? No, I don't support the idea. It doesn't make sense. Okay. It's one, there's like, essentially at that point, you're lumping Quebec in with everybody else in terms of representation, right? Like it doesn't make sense.
Want that.
No, yeah. I mean, specifically Quebec wouldn't want that, let alone anybody else. But like if you said, hey, we're going to make every province a state, I could say, okay, maybe I could understand that. But Canadians, I don't think Canadians are willing to like let go of being Canadian, but being a territory, I could see a scenario where if like Trump does throw on tariffs and it really like damages the Canadian economy, and then there's, you know, the political landscape is a complete mess like it is now, and that continues on long enough, and there's like, you know, like hundreds of thousands of job losses, I could see people being amenable to being a territory where essentially you still get to be the country, still get to be Canadian, just like Puerto Ricans are Puerto Rican. Like I said, nobody's more prideful of their nationality than Puerto Ricans, even though they are an American territory. They're still just like, we're Puerto Ricans. You get benefits in terms of protection by the United States. Obviously I mean, like Trump's basically playing fucking Settlers of Catan right now with the map. But the territory, I could see if it got bad enough. Like, I think, like, how old are you?
33 this year.
33. Okay. So 32 right now. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on any of this territory or 51st state as someone who obviously has been in Canada your whole life?
Yeah. So, you know, at first I was like, hey, why not? I mean, I feel like like everything is better in America. That's at least my impression in terms of just in terms of living and quality of life. And so I was kind of like, sure, let's do this, and like, you know, let's be gone with this kind of liberal or socialist type government that we've got here, because I think things could be better. And but there's actually a couple things, and as I was mentioning before about the decentralization, centralization kind of thing, if America were to absorb Canada, then it is giving more power to America, which I think, generally speaking, that's not a good idea, because I'm against the idea of one world government, and I feel like even though America would just be taking over Canada, Greenland, and Panama Canal, those aren't like maybe major expansions, but it's still a step towards that one world government thing that I just do not support.
Yeah.
And so fundamentally, just in terms of that I support decentralization, and I feel like if America were to absorb Canada, then it does kind of create more centralization. One thing though is that if, like, because of the way that America runs, it's, you know, like every state is almost like its own country, its own culture, its own sort of, they have their own rules. There is actually a lot more decentralization in America, and so, but I still feel like it would give more power to America at the end.
Yeah, I mean, for the individual, like for the individual Canadian, like obviously I know most Canadians are like, we don't want to lose universal health care, which I understand. But for the most part, everybody would be on the margin probably better off to join America in many regards. But yeah, I wouldn't even be too worried about that, because again, you're taking a country that's whatever 350 million people, and besides obviously like more than doubling its land mass, you're only adding 40 million people. And I imagine if that did happen, all the people who are on those like PRs from India are all getting sent back under that scenario. Yeah. So then you're talking about 38 million people, less than the size of California. Yeah, I don't know. It's still a very unlikely scenario that any of this happens. But if Trump even said it today. Trump literally said, he's like, if we were willing to do this the hard way, he's like, we could easily have Canada. And he's right. I mean, again, it's like, I think that's always been understood that, like Canada's military is a mess. Their government's a mess. It could happen. But
yeah, you know how we had to invest much in our military with America kind of backing us up. And actually, I was even kind of imagining a scenario where if Trump just decided we're not going to like protect you guys anymore. And honestly, I feel like it's almost odd that we just expect America to protect us when it's not really their responsibility. And
yeah, but that's just a geographical thing. But that's like the only that expectation just arises because we're in this. Canada's in this fortunate geographical position where, again, like the only people who could invade Canada is America. Like nobody could invade Canada other than the United States.
Russia, I mean.
Yeah, but Russia still has to go through Alaska. I mean, can't really. And America wouldn't.
Guess, like through Greenland or something, or
not really. I mean, they wouldn't. I don't know if they'd go that route.
Like,
I don't.
You know, like you're probably right. I'm very uneducated in this area, but I just feel like if Russia really wanted to, and if America's not going to protect us, I don't really see that much stopping.
I mean, here's the thing. If Russia had a chance of taking us over, like if it looked like that was on the table where Russia was going to invade, then it would literally Canada would just say, "Hey, America, all right, we're going to join you," and then America would be like, "Knock it off," and Canada's ours now, and just that would be that.
That's exactly where I was going to go with it, because I was going to say that's in that situation, I'd be like, okay, well, I'd rather be part of America than in Russia. And so
hell yeah! I mean, it wouldn't even make sense. The geography is too spaced out for that to even make any sense. To be like territory that far away. Anyways, I gotta let you go, man. I got some more calls to get to, but appreciate you calling in.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. You're freaking awesome, dude.
Thanks. Have a good one. All right, let's try and bang out a few more calls here. Thank you very much. And I'm gonna do this little Patreon 6-month membership giveaway shortly, so stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail.
Yo.
Hey, what's up?
Yo. What's up, Danny?
How's it going?
It's going good. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the whole capitulation from Mexico and Canada. And I was listening to you talk right now. I think that Canada is going to be, if not just a state, it's going to be multiple states. But I
mean, multiple states would make sense. I mean, I could see actually a scenario where if Trump squeezes the economy, because I don't know how much people know about Canada, but Alberta basically subsidizes, like they have transfer payments within the country where basically like it's kind of like similar to like a sports league where the high earning teams pay money to the shitty teams, right? Right?
Like and the WNBA.
Or no, even the regular NBA. Like if you're the lowest salary cap team in the NBA, the highest salary cap, like that's what the luxury tax is in the NBA. Basically, you can spend over the luxury tax, and that money goes to those lower rung teams who probably live in markets where they could never have these super high salary caps just based on like geography and the economies they're in. But so Alberta, because they have so much oil, they send tons of money to all the other provinces. Like I think there's most provinces receive the payments. So I could see a scenario where Alberta, who already has a minor separatist movement, as does Quebec, even though Quebec is a net taker, they're the province that receives the most money. Alberta's the province that gives the most money. I could see Alberta being like, you know what, fuck this. We're tired of subsidizing the country. Like, you guys kind of treat us like shit. We don't like the way that the federal government is running things, and we just want to leave. And maybe America's like, well, you can join us, keep all your oil money and just join us like a state kind of thing. Because America doesn't do that as far as I know, like those transfer payments from state to state. I could see Canada fracturing in that way, where certain provinces like Quebec and Alberta specifically decide they don't want to be part of Canada anymore. And again, like Quebec did had a referendum in the 90s, and it was literally
where they could.
It was, I think, the votes to stay in Canada was like, it was like 50.1% to stay to like 40. Like, it was so close, and all they needed was 50% of the vote plus one person, literally, to vote to leave, and then they would have left. And like, if you have, say, two provinces that are in the middle, you know, not in the middle, but Alberta's out west, Quebec's in the middle. If those two provinces are like, we're leaving, then now the country's fractured enough because it now has these just gaps in it. And I could see things unraveling in that way. Because Canada, if Canada just lost Alberta and Quebec, it would just be, but Quebec has their whole French thing. So I don't know. This thing is still highly unlikely. But again, if you asked me 5 years ago, would any Canadians want to join America? Like, it would have been zero, as close to 0% as possible 5 years ago. Now it's like 17%. So who knows what happens? I don't.
Yeah, Alberta is where Jordan Peterson's from, right?
Yeah, he's from northern Alberta. But again, they have, like, Alberta has tons of resources. They're like they could easily be a self-sustaining country with the amount of resources they have. And they're all
economic powerhouse.
Yeah, and they're a conservative province. They're kind of like, I don't want to say looked down upon in Canada. Good guys. Yeah, but they're like, you know, the rest of Canada kind of treats them unfairly, I would say, considering they subsidize so much, so much of the country.
Just like the rest of the conservative states in America, they're kind of looked down upon by the liberals, but at least they used to be.
Yeah, they used to be. So I don't know. I could see that happening. I could see the territory. The single 51st state makes zero sense. That'll never happen. I think Trump's just saying that as a bit of a troll. He's saying that, and then I think he's also just saying that to maybe potentially lay the framework for some other arrangement in the future.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about the guy Pierre Polivier? I personally like him, but I was just like reading one of his tweets that he put out, like talking about like what needs to be done to kind of counteract or basically negotiate with Trump. And I was just like reading it because I like the guy, but I was just like, man, what if what if Canada ceases to being a country and the poor guy never got the chance to go in and fix what Trudeau?
I mean, I suppose that's possible. Especially if the Liberals like draw it out for another 2 years and don't have a fair election. Like, there could potentially not be an election until October 2026. Is possible,
and that's because of Trudeau, right?
That's just because the Canadian charter essentially allows you to have 5 years in between elections, and the last one was in 2021. Normally they're 4 years or less, but you can extend them till 5 years. Like, I believe in 1988 there wasn't an election until 93, even though they had a similar scenario where the prime minister stepped down and we had a chick for 3 months, and then Kim Campbell, and then they had an election. But technically you can go 5 years. So I don't know. It's possible. I mean, nobody in Canada ever thought in a million years that they were going to get tariffed by the United States. And I mean, a lot of people are still, in my opinion, naive and think it won't happen, but it, I think it's coming. I think it's again, most people in the mainstream probably disagree with me, but I think it's coming.
I think it's coming too. I mean, like, there's a female
and Trump smells
president
blood
in Mexico.
Like, Trump really smells blood right now. And I don't think the thing is, I don't think Trump really wants Mexico as much as he wants Canada, because Canada, you know, it's like you almost fill in the gap between Alaska, and then you have no border, like you have no northern border with anything. Like, it makes geographically so much more sense. Whereas if you take Mexico, then you're just you just now have Central America as your southern border, which is arguably worse.
Yeah, it's probably worse. And then, you know, if we also have Greenland up there, like Canada kind of just connects up to Greenland, right?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't connect,
actually, but it's like
Like, look, if you ever played the game,
team.
if you ever played Risk before, and you owned America,
No.
but like the game Risk, like where it's basically like world domination essentially, kind of game. If you played that game, like, and you were America, you would want naturally to own Canada. Like that would just be a strategic thing to own. That would be a strategic piece of the puzzle, and the geography.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry, I gotta let you go. Just I gotta get a couple more.
I got one question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go.
I got 2 free tickets to a LA Kings hockey game. It's gonna be my first time going to to a hockey game.
Nice,
and
man.
There's
Hockey's
3
the
choices.
best.
I can either go see them. I could either see them go against the Golden Knights, the Canucks, or the Sharks. So what team
Golden
should I
Knights.
go watch?
Golden Knights 100%. That's the Golden Knights are the best team of the 3. Golden Knights are a great rivalry with the Kings. Sharks stink, although they have pretty exciting rookie Macklin Celebrini, and the Canucks are meh. I wouldn't take the Canucks. I would take the Kings.
Golden Knights it is. I'll try calling in at the bathhouse tomorrow to get a few more.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and let me know how the game goes. You'll love it.
All right, for sure. Take it easy.
Take it later. All right, we're going to take a couple more calls, and we're going to wrap this up. We're going extra overtime. I got to get home, though. My fucking dog hasn't eaten dinner. Don't ask me why. He doesn't really eat, and he's so picky. He's a little piece of shit. And my wife's away, so I'm a single dog dad right now. Okay, you're not picking up here. No. All right. We'll try this one. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail.
Hey, Danny. How
How's
you
it
doing,
going?
man?
Good. How are you? All right, we're going to make this the last call of the
I'm
night.
doing good. Okay. Well, cool, man. I feel fucking honored about it.
Yeah. What's up?
All right. Yeah. So, hey, man, a lot of uncertainty going on in the world right now, obviously with Canada and Mexico and all these tariffs and all that bullshit. I'm not going to say on what side I'm on in this shit. I feel like people are probably just kind of holding back on the question everyone wants to know. What does this do with WNBA expansion in Canada?
Toronto has a team next year.
Yeah, but what's this going to fucking do to it, Danny? Is this ruining it for us?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean ruining. I don't know what you mean by ruining or for us. Are you a big WNBA fan?
I mean, you don't think they're just going to sweep the legs on it? Show us it? I mean, listen. Right now, the WNBA is hotter than ever in America. We got Caitlin Clark. We got Angel Reese. We got. There's
AJ
other
Wilson?
ones. There's other ones that are good too.
AJ Wilson
so it's
or whatever it is.
Aja Wilson, look at you. This is why I called you, buddy.
Yeah.
You're a WNBA guy. So,
False.
We're trying to expand throughout the world here, trying to get this fucking recognized. And, I'm just worried that they're just going to be like, hey, you want to play hardball? We'll go toe-to-toe with you.
Yeah, we'll take away your precious WNBA franchise that's a massive money loser.
Danny, we all see what's on the horizon here, brother.
I know.
This
Who
motherfucker's a cash cow.
What was the athlete who said that he's like, I could see WNBA overtaking? I can't remember. It was some professional athlete. He's like, I can see the WNBA overtaking Major League Baseball in 20 years. And you're like, are you out of your fucking mind?
O.J. Simpson, I'm pretty sure.
No, it wasn't O.J. Simpson. It was like some former.
No? Oh.
It was some former athlete said it. I want to say, I don't want, no, it's not Richard Jefferson. It was somebody. And they said that, and you're like, "What?"
Yeah.
It made,
no,
it was.
I
It was. I think it was Paul Pierce, maybe.
Yeah, he said some pretty ridiculous.
Paul
shit.
Pierce or
like
Kevin?
Pierce
Cam Newton.
or
No,
Kendrick
sorry,
Perkins would say.
sorry, Paul Pierce. It was Cam Newton said that, and you go, dude, you have fucking CTE.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
never
Well,
happening.
Paul Pierce, Cam Newton, and Kendrick Perkins are all in that boat where they just say like the dumbest shit. So.
Yeah. No, it was Cam Newton. He said that, and you're like, there's zero chance.
Hey, so got a quick question for you, man. So, like, obviously, with the past election back in November, and the Democrats severely underperforming, And a big reason for it was clearly identity politics, was clearly the fact that there's a lot of obnoxiousness on the left as far as superiority, elitism, all that shit. And you're seeing like them double down on that right now.
Yeah.
Like just through like X and Reddit and just like the party. They had the DMC committee thing the other day where like they did the whole equality thing, and like they're like, what is it? Why don't they recognize like where they like went wrong and like where they need to correct this?
Because then what are they?
Don't, like,
honest question.
I don't know.
Is if they just are like, okay, we're common sense now, then you're like, okay, well then you're the Republicans. Like, what are you?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it goes beyond identity, though. That's the thing. Like, they're so strung on this shit that they can't realize that they lost because of that, and they can't like negotiate with themselves to be able to push policy because they're so strong on the fact that they need to be, you know, part of like the woke party when it comes to all the, you know, ideological things that they're trying to push. And you just figure after you saw that. You lost all the swing states. You lost the popular vote. Like to a guy that like if you put anyone up there that was like not Kamala Harris, you're probably fucking winning.
Probably.
And
you know
so
what? I
like,
will say this actually because you know as bad as they lost, like they didn't actually lose that badly. Like what was the final tally?
I couldn't tell you. I know what you mean, though. It wasn't like a complete
like they didn't
blowout.
like everybody was
like,
you know
I
Trump
like 312 to 200.
Yeah, like here. Let's see, election 2024. It was 312-226. So they got killed in the electoral college. It was 77,300,000 votes to 75 million for Kamala Harris. So they only won by 2.3 million votes. Obviously, the electoral college is the game, but like. If, for example, if Trump does this trade war and it doesn't work out and they are like deporting people and everybody's watching this on TV and they're like, you know what, this isn't really what I signed up for. They could easily, with the exact same platform that they ran on this year, flip it back in their favor. So honestly, like they have a strategy where they could just sit back, change nothing, and maybe just Trump fumbles enough. Because he's taken so many fucking home run swings where like, they're like, yeah, maybe he just kind of does this to himself. We only have to swing like, you know, maybe 4 or 5 million voters, which is not that crazy. And then they're back in the saddle. But again, I don't know. Like
yeah, I guess I was looking at it from more of a blowout from like a momentum standpoint.
Yeah, from a momentum standpoint.
You saw
but
even Biden, who was not popular previously, just absolutely waxing the floor with Trump. And then going from him and whether they kept him in the race too long, I think most people can agree with that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And then just like going to the point where like, you know, they put up Kamala, this, you know, the diversity is the big thing that they ran on. The one big mistake, and I mean, they got to admit, is like they just ostracized fucking the white male vote.
For sure.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. I see the way that the left is acting about everything right now. And it's,
yeah, I don't know. I know what you're saying, but like, I don't know how they can change their identity and not just basically be like, okay, we're Republicans now. I mean, the Republicans are just Democrats from 20 years ago. So
no doubt. Yeah.
I don't really know. They kind
100%.
of painted themselves in a corner. I don't know. Maybe they're like, yeah, we'll just, hopefully we can pick up. Some.
I don't know, man. The only way I can explain it is that they're just so fucking unlikable. I mean, you look at it and they're basically rooting against the USA at this point.
Yeah.
And it just in the way that they just don't want anything to succeed.
Yeah.
I get if you don't agree with it, and that's fine. It's like, hey, like you don't want to do it this way. I get it. Like this is what the country voted for. But they're actively rooting for the downfall of all these policies. And they don't understand that, like the people that don't really care about politics,
just normal people
that aren't on X every day, and
yeah, I mean, I've said it a million times. Like all they had to do to avoid all of this stuff that's happening right now is just be kind of normal, and they couldn't do
exactly.
That. Yeah, they couldn't do that. Anyways, man, I gotta let you go. I gotta wrap this thing up. But thank you for calling.
For sure.
In.
Hey, who's
Appreciate
winning the
you
WNBA championship this year?
Good luck, dude. All right, that has been the show. Other than spin the wheel, 6-month Patreon.com membership up for grabs. who's going to win. And if you win it, please, we're going to shuffle this a few times. Please hit me up. If you're already a Patreon membership, message me and I will up your membership by 6 months. And this is courtesy of Jan. And the winner is Stealth Chaos. One of the final super chats of the night. Pulls it off. Stealth Chaos actually dropped a super chat in a currency which yen, I believe. 500 yen? Is that what that is? I don't accept yens. But he says, hi, Danny. Gavin Newsom just caught stealing donations to fire victims. I'll have to check that out. Iron Man Bill, fuck is real with a cactus with BB pushing. I don't know what that means. Iron Man also says the Bolshevik Revolution were all small hats. I believe that's correct. Max Headroom says this guy found Danny's early life section. Stay away. All right, everybody. Fun show tonight. That has been it, though. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Appreciate everybody watching over on Rumble. We got almost 500 of you on Rumble. Thank you very much. If you want to support the show, you get an extra audio episode a week, and you can win $500 of my money. Win Ben Stein's, Danny Stein's money. Once I hit 500 subs, you can sign up for $5. Patreon.com/lowvaluemail. That's been the show. Check out an all-new episode of The Bathhouse, the funniest call-in show that exists in the world. I guarantee you, if you've never caught an episode, it is the best. I have the best time doing it. I know you'll have the best time watching it if you've never caught an episode. And we'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. from the Stand Comedy Club Green Room. Shout out to the dog, Nick Rochefort, for coming on, taking all your questions, talking about real estate. That has been the show. I got to go get to my dog. And not figuratively my dog. My literal dog is sitting at home. Motherless. No, she's just in Florida. She'll be back. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Catch you all soon. Have a lovely evening. Good night. Good night. Oh, I'm retarded. I've just been sitting here, huh? That makes sense. All right. Well, now this is the actual end.